Yo, people, it's your boy Major, and I'm back again with my brother Ace for another episode of Two Up Front. And hey, man, the season's over. The season is over.
It's
What
finally done, man.
we started right
Finally
at the
done.
beginning, game week 1 and game week 38 has been and when it's finished, season is over. But Ace, what you telling me, bro? How you doing?
No, I'm doing good, my guy, man. Yeah, it's been a long year, But overall, I was reflecting the other day. I was like, nah, I'm actually happy that we were able to get this far. And I'm already looking forward to next season, just taking everything that we've learned. I'm actually sad now that we're actually going into these. I guess we'll have to rethink maybe what we stream about, what we kind of do in the summer periods. But yeah, nah, man, it was definitely a good year. It was tough, but definitely enjoyable.
Yeah, no, for real. Yeah, I echo that. Obviously, yeah, we had the idea and we've executed it. And yeah, we've learned a lot of things along the way, man. So, yeah, man. And to everyone who has, been with us on the journey, we appreciate it. We're grateful. And one thing I've learned on this journey in particular is YouTube etiquette. So, I'm going to say, if you are watching this video, please like, subscribe, share, algorithm, all of that. Do you get me? That's something we're trying to get better at next year. So yeah, man, we'll really appreciate it if you like. Even if you watch it later, you're watching it back, like we'll appreciate. And obviously leave your comments, let us know what you're thinking, etc. etc. But yeah, bro, we've got a lot of football to talk about.
Yo.
Before we get onto our scheduled topics, there's just a couple of things that I want to quickly mention. Firstly, I want to give a big shout out to the Unity Cup. Obviously, I went to the Niger versus Ghana match, and yeah, man, it was brilliant vibes. Like before the match, during the match, after the match. And I know people who went to the Jamaica Trinidad match and they said it was the same thing, great vibes. And then obviously the Niger Jamaica match, the final, brilliant vibes. And yeah, man, like I think it was a brilliant occasion. Like even if you don't like football, like I think it was a brilliant occasion just to be a part of. Like it was like a party atmosphere, and of course, like when I went to the Ghana match, I went with my fellow Nigerians. But obviously, if you've grown up in this London, you know that we've got so many different countries, cultures, and of course, Ghana. Do you get me? There's the Jollof rivalry, all of that stuff. But I don't know hardly any Nigerians who aren't friends with Ghanaians and vice versa. So, like, and I think it was a great representation of like the friendly kind of banter rivalry that we have, where it's like, you know what, we're gonna make our little jokes here and there, we're gonna sing our songs, but ultimately, like, it's all love. We love each other. Do you get me? Two brilliant countries, two brilliant cultures. And yeah, man, I think it was just a great representation of kind of what it's like to just be a part of this kind of like not just London, because I know there's other cities as well where it's like you've got your Nigerians, your Ghanaians, your Jamaicans, etc. But I think it was a great representation of like how much obviously our countries mean to us and kind of like of our cultures and all of that stuff. So yeah, man. And obviously Nige, we ended up winning. Do you get me? So whilst these lot, I don't know if they're going to qualify for the World Cup.
Yeah, I've heard that. That's the report I've heard from the teams that we beat. It's like,
Oh,
the losers, they keep reminding us, have you not
man.
qualified? I said, bro, we won. Let's focus on the most recent competition, brother.
Ghana
So
need to
yeah,
take
no.
time because they're not part of AFCON, bro. They didn't qualify. So take time. Do you get me? So yeah,
Nah.
man. But shout out Nige. I had my Nige flag, all of that. Like, do you get me? I was repping. Where is even my? Do you get it?
Oh,
It
it's
was very,
beautiful.
it was very Nige. So hey,
Mm.
man. We what do we say? We know they carry last.
No, they
You know
carry
how it
last.
goes.
That's it,
Hey,
bro.
man. So yeah, shout out Nige for winning the Unity Cup. But overall, yeah, brilliant event. So like I want to see more of that because yeah, if they do it next year, I'll definitely try to go again. Like because again, it was one of them ones that even if you're not into football, you would have had a
Mm.
brilliant time. So
I hear
and
you.
I
It
love
looked
I
like that. So
yeah, and I love events where it's just like there was no trouble, no like nothing. It was just vibes before, during, after. So that's what we want to see. But yeah, man. everybody like that went, like I'm sure they had a great time. And yeah, man, if you weren't able to go, like I recommend, yeah, next year if they're doing the same thing, I hope they do. It's definitely a shout. Like I would recommend it.
Mm.
And I'm someone who's gone to like loads of Premier League matches. You know, I'm always at Old Trafford, European matches, and I've seen great atmospheres. But this was very
Mm.
different to the atmospheres that I've normally seen. Like
Mm.
it was like football meets Carney meets
Mm.
like Nigerian Ghanaian hall party.
I can
Like,
imagine.
you
Like,
get
I
me?
can imagine.
Like,
It's those things. I remember after when you were telling me how it was, I was like, you know what? I'm not even surprised by that because it sounds like if it
yeah,
was to go well and it was good vibes, this is exactly what it would be like. Because yeah, it's
bro,
banter. All the like it's all banter. Like there's no actual
bro,
hatred or,
honestly,
or ill will there. So yeah, like
bro.
even the Jamaica final, I know that must have been crazy. Like
What? Hey, man,
yeah.
everybody repping. And you know what? It's mad as well because there's even some charts that I'm taking away. Like they've got like a great one where it's like if there's a free kick, like say when Ghana have a free kick, do you get me?
Mm.
The Nigerians they start chanting over the bar, over the back, over the back, over Hazard. This is it. So yeah, big shout out to the
Hey.
organizers. Great idea. And hopefully you can see more of it moving forward. Second thing I quickly wanted to mention was the Arsenal, but
Mm.
not the men, the
Oh
women.
yes, our
I want to give a
European
big shout
success.
out. I want to give a big shout out to the Arsenal women, the Arsenal ladies. Yeah, obviously champions of Europe. They won the Champions League. And for those who aren't kind of maybe aware of what kind of achievement it is, this should probably help maybe put things into context. So Chelsea are the best team in England easily. They've won the last 6 leagues, the last 6 WSLs. This season they went undefeated. They were unbeaten and they won a domestic treble. So they didn't lose a match in the league. And Barcelona beat them 8-2 on aggregate in the semi-finals.
Chai.
So that shows you how good Barcelona are. Like they're the reigning champions of Europe. Obviously, they've got a lot of Spanish nationals as well. Who they're currently the world champions. Like they've got Bonmati, who's the Ballon d'Or holder. Like Barcelona, they're a great, great team. So yeah, the fact that they beat Chelsea 8-2, that should show you how great they are, considering how great we know Chelsea are. So Arsenal beating Barcelona is absolutely crazy. Like it was like they were completely against the odds to do so. And
Yeah.
yeah, like it's a monumental achievement. Like it's a proper underdog story. Like I know some people might not understand how much of an underdog story it is, but it's like, yeah, they weren't supposed to win that at all. So the fact that they did, you've got to give a lot of props. And also, I want to pick up Arsenal as a football club as regards to, like, I think in this country they've been always the ones that have spearheaded like their support for women's football. Like even when I was younger, like do you get me? I think they've done a lot as a club to try and push women's football forward. Even if you look at how many people came to like the trophy lift, there was thousands. They've always been supporting. They've allowed I think it was this year all 12 home games. I believe it was 12, but all the home games for the women's team were played at the Emirates. And
Oh
yeah,
man.
man, like I know they've been able to get great turnouts as well. So they've done a lot of things to push women's football forward that I think should be celebrated. So yeah, big up Arsenal as a football club for that. So yeah, those are my two quick things that I just wanted to talk about. Now let's talk about my team, Manchester United. A lot has happened,
Bro,
so
it's
I'm
so
gonna
much has
have to,
happened. Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna have to take things back. So some of the more recent things that have happened, we're gonna talk about a little bit later. But I'm gonna take things back to the Europa League final and that actual match, and just give my thoughts. And then, yeah, bro, feel free to give your thoughts as well. But yeah, man, bro,
You know it
obviously,
is, yeah, because also like we haven't actually spoken properly since the final as well. So like
yeah.
I'm actually so curious to see like yeah what was going through your mind during that game and yeah
Mm.
your how you felt at the end. So yeah, now break it down, man.
Bro, I was absolutely gutted. Like, absolutely gutted. I won't lie to you. It was the lowest I felt as regards to United in a very, very long time. Like, I was telling my friends that this hurts more than when we lost the Champions League finals to Barca. Like, Yeah,
Mm.
like, and because
Mm.
with the Champions League finals, one, we were facing, like, in my opinion, the best club team of all time, the best club team that I've seen at least. So there was that. And especially in the 2011 one, whilst I think Fergie, he could have done some things tactically to make us a little bit more difficult to play against, ultimately, we were just up against a team that were just levels above us and there wasn't much we could do. And so I was like, you know what? We've lost, but they're a great team. And also, there was always the feeling that we will be back. So, like,
Mm.
even in 2009, when we lost the Champions League final, 2 years later, we were back. Like, there was the feeling that we'll go again, we'll be back, etc., etc., etc. Whereas with this, it was just so gloomy. Like, it was so doom and gloom. It was just like, you lot actually, obviously at the time it could have been anywhere between 15th and 17th that we finished. Ultimately it ended up being 15th, but whatever the case may be, 15th, 16th, 17th, you guys are going to finish in one of those places. And the one thing that has kind of been a little bit of light, and when I say a little bit of light, I'm not talking about something that will help redeem the season, because there was nothing that could redeem the season. There was nothing that could make the season now a success. Even if we won the Europa League, it couldn't now be a success. But the one little thing, like, do you get me, that we've been looking forward to whilst the season has been ending, like, do you get me, those European nights? I've been a part of them. I was at Old Trafford for the Leon comeback. I was at Old Trafford when we beat Athletic Club in the semi-finals. So it's like, it was like, all right, cool, this has been the thing that has been keeping us going through the season. And to put in a performance like that, oh my gosh, like, it was horrible. I think, like, all the players that we would want to turn up, like when people were previewing the final, I think a lot of people were speaking about, oh, you know, but Man United have got someone like a Bruno who can, you know, make the difference. And he had a shocker,
Yeah, he was
giving the
terrible.
ball away. Like, all of the things as to which recently I thought he'd done very well to start eliminating out of his game, they all came flooding back. Flooding back. Oh my
Hey man,
days.
it's the
Flooding
pressure. You
back.
stop thinking. Yeah.
Flooding back. Like, I've been saying, oh, you know what, Bruno, because the GNA, I know what Bruno can do with the GNA. My thing was more so, can you look after the ball? Can you keep things ticking? Can you be intelligent as regards to when you want to release the ball? Can you be able to allow the Manchester United attack to flow, like, and, you know, operate within the flow of the game, rather than sometimes, you know, just trying to do what it is that you want. And he'd been doing those things. He'd been more careful with the ball. He'd been more tidy in the ball. I'd seen it on television. I'd seen it in real life at Old Trafford. And yeah, man, this game he had a shocker. Even like for the goal, he gave the ball away twice. Like, he was just really bad. Tactically, I think Amarim, he got outclassed by Ange, like utterly outclassed. He didn't react as well to the problems that we were facing with the substitutions. He waited way too long. He brought on Garnacho at what, post 70 minutes. Mainu was coming on like what, the 88th minute. Like, it just didn't make sense. Like, Ange, I've got to give him credit. I'm going to speak about him a little bit more, but just as regards to the game, I think tactically he was spot on. He made the game ugly. He said, you know what, we're gonna break it up. We're gonna, like, commit fouls. We're gonna be frustrating defensively. We're just gonna make sure that we're resolute, make sure the block is secure, make sure it's tight. And I've got to give him a lot of credit, because the whole thing about Ange has always been, he doesn't adapt, and, you know, high line for life, all of these different things. And he literally said, you know what, finals aren't to play, they're to win. He said, whatever we need to do to win, we don't have Madison, we don't have Kulusevski, we don't have Bergval. We're going to be resolute. We're going to make sure that we're hard to break down, and we're going to do what we need to do to win. And I've got to give him all the credit. And separately as well, for you to be the manager of Spurs, Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, and to say in your second
Yeah,
season
the
that I
aura is
always win
yeah.
things, for you to say that whilst you're not managing Arsenal, You're not managing Manchester United. You're not managing Liverpool. You're managing Spurs. And for you to say that whilst managing Spurs and to back it up, I've got to give you full credit for that because, yeah, that is cold. I can't lie.
bro,
It's cold.
bigger men than him in football have come and tried to do this trophy miracle, and he came, said he was going to do it and did it. So yeah, I think you have to give him
it.
The
yeah, 10 toes on it. So I've got to give him credit. But back to United, yeah, man, like we were just completely out of our depth. Like I think there was just so many poor performances. Again, that I think probably like the one player who I looked at and thought, oh, you know what, like you gave like a good account for yourself was Euro. But yeah, like apart from that, it was very, very, very not good to see, man. It was a hard watch. Like a very hard watch. Like the overall quality of the final was extremely poor. But again, what do you expect when you're looking at the two teams involved and the places we are in the league? But I just felt like United, man, like yeah, you didn't do enough to break them down. Like I'm not mad at Spurs and how they approached the game. Like I think Spurs, it was very intelligent. Like
I know, and
like,
also too,
they done what needed to do.
I think the reason why, like, to kind of jump into what you're saying, why the United performance you like were much more critical, because like you said, overall it was a poor quality game of football in terms from both teams. But with Spurs, with missing Madison, missing Kulu, missing Bergvall, you said, you know what, you're playing Saab, what's it called, Basuma, and who was the third midfielder? Bentancur. Like that's the most defensive midfield. There's no creativity there. So I'm not looking at you now expecting that midfield to do something based on just who you have on the pitch. Whereas with United, I mean, this is where like the balance. Like I think, because I've heard a lot of United fans say this, and I agree. I think United were bad, but I also watching the game, I also felt like on the balance of the game, I think United probably should have won. Just being objective from the outside too, in terms of the chances that United had.
All the ball.
You had the ball. I think the what's it called? Van der Ven clearance, what's it called? Luke Shaw head at the end. Like I think you probably had more clear chances.
The thing in the first half.
So I think you had more of those chances, but because of the difference in quality of the teams that we both saw in terms of like the strength of your teams going into it, it's like all the pressure is on you guys now. That you should be better than Spurs. You should have the better chances, but you should also get over the line and get the win. So I think that's why.
Also, it's not enough.
It's not.
The chances weren't enough. Like
it wasn't.
They weren't enough. Like, and even like when you look at the nature of the chances, it's like Hoyland's chance was from a Vicario fumble. Like, do you get me? Which he should have easily collected, and then obviously headed it, Van der Ven clearance. Then you have like Shaw with the header, but then again his last ditch, put the cross in the box, like it's kind of all or nothing, etc. Do you get me? And then Ahmad did do well in the first half. Like he started the game off actually quite well, and then I think again Spurs, they identified and they said, you know what,
Richarlison, he put in a shift.
They realized very quickly, they were like, United are trying to get Ahmad on the ISO. Like, do you get me? It's just like Ahmad wants the ISO on the doggy. That's what he wants. The ISO, the one-on-one. Do you get me? That's what they cropped it. They said, cool. Double him up, get physical. And then Ahmad, he couldn't sniff nothing. Like Richarlison, boom, barge him. Like they were very smart. Like, do you get me? But again, my thing is like, I'm not mad at Spurs at all. Like I think
there's no point.
When you've not won a trophy in that long, and I've always said it, finals, bruv, like I remember the Liverpool Spurs final and the Champions League final. That was a bad final.
Yeah, it was.
Who cares? Like, do you get me? They won. Liverpool fans don't care. Like, you don't remember that. Like I always say, finals are to win, not to play. Like, do you get me? Like I don't care about we played well in this. Nah, bro. Like
the moral victory.
Yeah, the moral there is no moral victory in finals. Like, you get me? There's no moral victory in finals. There's winners and losers. But I think what made this even more disheartening was the fact that, you know what, I just feel like we didn't do enough to try and break them down. Like Amorim needed to be much more proactive. He needed to change things.
This is also why, because I think it was interesting when you're going on earlier, but I think you gave blame to the players and Amorim. But I also feel this is also like an indictment on even the season. Let's say like since Amorim came in, I feel like you guys also reverted back to like the form and everything that we've seen in the Prem as well. Just in terms of you've risen in these Europa League games, but this felt like overall this is how you guys have been playing. So you know that whole thing of like you kind of get what you deserve. like at a certain point where, as much as you're rising the Europa League performances wise, like get the winning games, it's like your overall quality, even from like him coming in, I don't think has been that good in general anyway.
You know what it is? I think if you look at our Europa League games and you look at the Premier League games and a lot of the Premier League games that we've struggled in, there's one big difference between the Premier League games and the Europa League games, and I think it's the physicality against the Spanish teams, against Sociedad, against Leon, against Athletic Bilbao. We've not been having to deal with the physicality of the Premier League. So I think that's why we've partially been able to get away with it, and our performances have been much better. We've been scoring much more goals. When we come against Prem opposition and they get physical with us and they start trying to overrun us in the midfield, we struggle. And I think that's what we saw against with Tottenham, because Tottenham, they didn't have quality going forward. They didn't have like a lot of attacking imagination. They had a lot of physicality, and we couldn't match them. And if you look at all of the Europa League games, like a lot of them, again, where you've been seeing like a lot of our players who might have not necessarily been shining in the Premier League and they've been shining in the Europa League, like a lot of it has been because how they play, like it suits us and it helps us out. Like, and I think the phicality is a big point.
But I hear it. I mean, maybe it is the physicality, but overall, it's like it's not. I don't think it's not. I don't know how to explain it. It's like I'm trying to see how to phrase this. Like I hear it that the physicality is definitely a big difference in two competitions, and also overall there's also a quality difference too. If we're also just being real in terms of the teams that you're coming up against relative to the teams in the Premier maybe you're playing in a higher position. But I think my point is that even when it comes to like creativity of like actually creating chances, I feel like that is something that also translates to the Europa League in terms of like how you guys struggle to make good clear-cut chances consistently in games, is where I then say from an Amrin position, how you guys have been coached and your attacking phases of play, I feel like caught up to you in this game as well, and that's what I saw a lot in the Premier League. I think that's more the point I'm more focused on rather than the pure physicality. What I hear is definitely a factor too, but I think it's like even Amrin's attacking football in general since coming in, I don't think gave me confidence that when you came up against a stubborn Spurs, you would have what it took to break them down anyway, based on everything that we've seen. Is my point. But
I think that's obvious to most. I think that's obvious to most people. Like United's attacking play hasn't been good enough. I was more so talking about like when you're mentioning the Europa League and the Premier League as regards to why there's been such a disparity, is that in the Europa League, because of the type of teams that you're coming in. Because if you look at it on most metrics, if you look at goals scored, if you look at chances created, like even in the Europa League, I've been to the Europa League matches, and it's like even Garnacho, the amount of chances in several legs that he's missing, like, do you get me there? But I think a big part of it, because forget even like the teams higher in the table in the Premier League, if you look at a lot of the teams lower in the table in the Premier League, we've not done well. Like, we've not been able to do what it is that we need to do. If you like, there's teams in the Europa League that are better than teams lower down in the Premier League, but we've suffered more against those teams lower down in the Premier League. And I think it's because in the Premier League, with the pace and physicality of a lot of the tactical approaches of a lot of the managers, they're not going to give you time to play the type of football that you're trying to play. And that's where coaching comes into it, because now it's like you can't get away with not having an efficiently coached attack. In the Europa League, it's much more easier to get away with not having an efficiently coached attack, because you've got much more time on the ball and you've got much more space to now try and create things. Whereas in the Premier League, you're not getting that same amount of space, so you're going to get exposed. So I feel like that was like a big disparity. Anytime I watched United in two of the competitions, it was very, very clear that, because you've not established the necessary patterns that you need to establish, because you've not established a position, like the attacking kind of triangles and systems that you would have wanted to have integrated within the team, then if a team now is getting uptight and physical with you, then you're out of ideas. You don't really know what to do. Like, do you get me? So I feel like, overall, that it was just
also, we say, wait, last thing on, do you blame Onana for the goal?
I do. I was arguing with one of my friends. They were saying that, Nah, it wasn't like it was all Shaw, and I said, no, bro, what? Like, Shaw, don't get me wrong, had a fumble, but I was just like, bruv, you should be saving that. Like, are you
Bro,
crazy?
I genuinely think he froze. Like
Are
he
you
actually froze.
crazy,
He
bro? You should have been
froze.
saving that. What, bro? I watched that
Yeah.
thing back like how
Yeah, no,
many
I've watched
times,
it.
bro? You
Yeah.
should have saved that 100%.
Yeah. Okay,
So it's
cool.
just
We're on the
like,
same
yeah,
page because I think
yeah,
also that was
yeah.
also a factor here too. With Vicario too, some of the chances that he also able to claw out is also the difference that Spurs needed because Spurs, as good as they were too, were still very tight, and it was
Mm,
those a game that could have gone either way so easily, but it fell in Spurs' favor, and they had the quality or the ability to get over the line. So, but yeah, nah, man, yeah, but I think us also that Onana should have done better. Like I think it was a fumble. I think John, you got away with it. Johnson probably should have scored the first time, but once he
mm,
didn't, I think Onana had a chance and he fumbled. Like
yeah,
so, yeah. Okay, cool. All right, cool. We're on the same
but
page on that.
yeah. But yeah, so yeah, like I think, yeah, it was just overall like, yeah, just it wasn't like a good performance. Like I think, yeah, the onus was on us to try and do more, create more, and like I think, yeah, um, it was just like very stale, very stale. This said, yeah,
Yeah,
man.
that's
I know
right.
for that change, man said quality. There was not a picture of quality in that
It was a
game
very poor game,
from
but nah,
either side.
there was some
Think he's a
quality though.
lot
The
of them,
saves, yeah,
but
no,
to
it was horrible. It was
I'm not
bad.
even gonna lie. Even the saves, I'm not gonna lie. Like the short header, I think that's a save that Vicario should be making. Like I don't think it was like any sort of like outstanding. If I want to give something
I think
a bit of
it's
quality
the Euro one.
out
Even though
the
didn't you the Euro didn't he save that one too when it came off Euro's toe from like the cross? If I'm remembering, I don't. If he Euro came really close to scoring as well, where it came off his toe, and I think Ricardo saved it. But I could be remembering it wrong.
okay. Oh,
Like,
you know what? I need to watch that back.
I
Yeah.
think he did, and I think
Okay.
the save for thing in the first half as well, Diallo was a good save too. But I'm just saying overall, he made the
Um,
save that he needed to make. Well, Onana, the save he needed to make, he didn't make, and the game ended 1-0. So it's
I hear
also
what you're
like
saying, but
yeah.
I think, yeah, you know what it is. I think you're right, but I think it's just, yeah, I understand what Unorthodox Change is saying as well as regards to like quality. It wasn't like it wasn't like the saves Donnarumma made against Arsenal.
Yeah,
Like it was
yeah,
like
it's true.
it was
It's
just like
true.
you
It's true.
kind of from what else I'll look back at that Euro chance that you're saying, but yeah, like I feel like he done what a good goalkeeper should do. Like, do you get me? Like, I don't think it was anything. Oh, rah, you know what? That's a only few keepers in the world is gonna pull that off kind of a thing. Like, do you get me? But ultimately, like,
Yeah.
yeah, with me, like, I think it's all on United. Like, all the metrics, the possession. I think we had like 77% or whatever it was. Like shots, whatever. Like all of them, they might favor United, but I just think ultimately you didn't do enough. So yeah, full credit to Spurs, and we'll talk about both teams a little bit more in depth later. But yeah, from one final to the other, obviously, Spurs fans they're singing Champions of Europe. You'll never sing that to a lot of Arsenal fans, but
That's not true though. That's
of
not true.
course,
Yeah. If they sing that, I don't want to say the sexism is what it gives, but I'm
uh,
not gonna go in there. I'm not gonna
of
go in there.
course, of course, um, of course, we know that there was another European competition, the first tier European competition that took place in the Champions League final, and obviously PSG faced Inter Milan, and yeah, man, it was an
Yeah,
absolute
man.
mauling, absolute battering. And you know what? I think PSG, man, honestly, like well deserved. They started off the competition slow, but yeah, I think when things clicked, like I think yeah, they've been brilliant. Like I've been a big fan of them. You know, I've been speaking about them for quite a while. I've said it that yeah, this season PSG and Barca, they've been my two favorite teams to watch. I'm a huge fan of Luis Enrique and how he plays football. I think they've got a very talented team. And yeah, I have no dog in the fight, but I think because of how PSG have been playing, I did want them to win. And then of course they knocked out Liverpool and Arsenal as well. So like just for that, I was like, you know what, you go and win that trophy because you've done us a favor. But yeah, no, honestly, like I think they've been absolutely brilliant. And yeah, like I think contrary to maybe Arteta's belief, I feel like, yeah, they have been the best team in the competition once things have clicked, and I feel like they did deserve to win. Like, I know Arteta might disagree with that, but yeah, man. But yeah, what were your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, honestly, you know what? I think firstly to big up PSG, man. Like, yeah, they were amazing, and like I think Dewey were actually watching another generation of youngster coming up, man. Like he's actually ridiculous. Like the way he took a hold of that game, the quality, the composure, even the first goal where it forced him, could have shot. He said, "Nope, I'm gonna guarantee this." Passes it across, gets that. Like the assist afterwards, like he just like yeah, he was instrumental. Like he was instrumental. I think he was the big reason that he was able to more into that final. And the other player that I just have to touch on too, man, Vitinha. Like that guy in center midfield, bro, is ridiculous. The fact that he was in the Premier League, it didn't work out, and now he's lifting the European trophy, a bench player at Wolves, or for the time that he was there, like, and then now he's lifting a European trophy, one of the best sixes in the world. Just shows that sometimes players too need the right environment, and you need, I guess, to be at the right stage in your career to really show your quality. And I think that's what he's doing now. So, no, he was really good. So yeah, I went to bring up those two players, and then I think overall it's also bittersweet as well because I agree. I think over the two legs against Arsenal, they had enough chances that I'm also not going to sit here and be like, oh, we they shouldn't have beat us, they shouldn't have gone through. But I think it's upsetting from the perspective of like, you think Arsenal defensively and us having an actual striker, if our club and made the right decisions, we could have beat them. And it could have gone the other way. And if we had caught this Inter team in the final, we could have beat them as well. So it's just more just sad of what could have been. I think from an Arsenal perspective, but again, in football, you don't make the right decisions at the right time. You say we're not going to do any business in January. We're going to wait all to the summer, and then you miss out on potential possibilities like this, potential like futures. So yeah, I think it's a bit bittersweet from that perspective, just because of how close we were. If we were able to get through those PSG games, and we didn't handicap ourselves the way we did, but. Yeah, but fair play to PSG, man. They did what they needed to do. They're no longer part of the big team that hasn't won the Champions League club. So, I was sad to see them go, but congratulations to them, man.
Yeah, no, I think no, fully deserved. We'll speak on Arsenal a little bit later, so we're not going to touch on Arsenal as well. But yeah, I think obviously we did the review on those games, and I feel like Arsenal, yeah, they did have their chances. I feel like some part of the reaction of some Arsenal fans, like after the match, kind of just like the kind of what could have been kind of thing. I think there was some people where were like, oh, you know what, like, oh, if we do this, then we can be right up there. And I was like, okay, cool. Some people, they were bringing up the XG stats and all of this and whatever, and we should have beat. And I was just like, hey, man, like, bruv, Liverpool got knocked out on penalties. Like, do you get me? They won one of the games. Villa, they beat them at Villa Park. Like, they had the chances to take that to extra time, and then you could see what had happened. And it was like Arsenal lost both legs. And I'm not saying that it tells the whole story of the tie, because it definitely doesn't. But also, I feel like a lot of the time people do this thing of like, oh, if this person scored that chance or if that person scored that chance, and they like forget about all the other chances that fell to PSG as well. Like, do you get me? And it's just like, oh, when Ramos hit the bar, or when Kvaratskhelia hit the post, or when Neves had the chance on the edge of the box, or when Barcola should have scored. Like, I feel like as a fan, like, obviously it can, that feeling of like, oh, it should have been us, or it could have been us, etc. Like, I get it to a certain extent. But then also, I feel like, yeah, sometimes this thing that people do, it's the similar thing where it's like, I think, again, with the United Spurs match, like, I can look at it and I say, oh, we had all the possession, we created the better chances, whatever this, oh, we deserve to win. And it's just like, nah, ultimately, bruv, we didn't deserve to win. We didn't do enough. Like, do you get me? Like, we just didn't. Like, so even this isn't even an Arsenal thing. I just don't like when fans do that. Even the United, I was just like, bro, we didn't do enough.
Yeah,
like,
but you know what this is? But this is also why sometimes too, I don't look. I don't. I also just sometimes just don't read what people say, because I also feel like you just realize there's people say a lot of dumb stuff. Because I know exactly what you're talking about. I know there's always many people that are gonna just do too much of it. I think mine is, it was a semi-final. We could have done better and go over the line. But if you're doing, we should have won, or then you're doing too much, bro. But that's like, online fans, isn't it? Like,
bro, it's just bruv, it's just one of them ones. But yeah, back to PSG. Yeah, obviously, I think you've spoken about them. I think, yeah, I echo. I think Due, he's a brilliant talent. I think Vitinha also brilliant. But I think Enrique, I think how he's coached this team, honestly, like it's fascinating. Like just from like a football fan perspective, it's fascinating to see because the amount of rotations that take place. Like if you look at that midfield with Vitinha, Neves, and Ruiz, they're consistently rotating. So it's like the 6, the 8 is all interchangeable. Like they're consistently rotating. It's a headache. Then you look at the front line, and then you look at Doué on one side, you look at Kvaratskhelia on the other side, and you look at Dembele through the middle. Again, consistently rotating is a headache. And then I think putting Dembele in that false 9 position is a masterstroke. I think he's the leader of this attack. Like Doué, obviously, he's been brilliant, but Dembele, he's the leader and he's like the main cog to that whole attacking system. Because when you've put him in the false 9, what he does is that he'll drop deep, he'll move out to the left, he'll move out to the right. And because he's ambipedal and he can use both feet, the angles that he can consistently create, it causes havoc. Because a lot of players, it's like, cool, you know what? They're trying to shift it onto their right, onto their stronger foot. If someone like an Odegaard, for example, a lot of the time, you know, all right, cool. You want to shift it, get it onto your left, create this angle where you can progress the ball over here. Whereas because Dembele is so comfortable dribbling with either foot, he's consistently changing angles. So like his weight will just go from one angle to the other. So he might fancy, all right, cool, I'm going to dribble on my left. All right, cool, I'm going to dribble on my right. And that's so hard to defend against because it's like normally you can try and face someone or front someone to a certain position where it's just like, all right, cool, you know what? We know you're going to try cutting in your left. So we're going to press you over here, get you in a hole, problem. Whereas Dembele, because he can comfortably use either foot, he's just going to like, okay, left's not there. All right, cool. Shift the body weight to the right. All right, cool. And you saw it even for like the second goal, like he's very comfortable, where it's just like he gets the ball out wide, cuts back in onto his right, spreads it to Doué, bang, goal. Like, do you get me? You see him drop deep again in that false 9 position. I think it was for Doué's second goal, third goal, comes through, flick, lets Vitinha fly through. Vitinha lays it off to Doué, goal. You look at the goal for Kvaratskhelia. Again, now he finds himself on the left-hand side, plays the ball through to Kvaratskhelia, goal. Like, he is a menace. Like, having a player like that, because I think, again, he's been one of those wonder kids where you're like, oh, you know what? You've got so much talent. You've got so much potential. You've not been able to fulfill it. Can you be the main man, etc., etc.? And I think putting him in that false 9 position, masterstroke. Like, that is genius. Like, and again, the rotations is, and you, because you got the midfield doing that, you've got the attack. So you've got Dembele dropping deep. Do you get me? Ambipedal, creating different angles, left foot, right foot. You've got Kvaratskhelia and Doué doing what they're doing. Like, do you get me? Dribbling. They're also comfortable going on either foot as well. You've got the midfielders all consistently rotating. And then you've got Hakimi flying forward. Look at where he is for the first goal, bro. You've got him flying forward. Do you get me? Then Mendes as well. And then at times, Hakimi's flying forward. Mendes is joining the 2 centre backs, and they're creating kind of like a back three. Do you get me? Like, the systematic rotations. I was watching it and I was like, bro, this team is so well coached. Like, I was just like, bro, they're so well coached. Of course, they're so talented. Like, they've got the talent, but bro, the coaching, like, you can look at the team and say, bro, this team has been coached. Like, coached.
No, you're right. You're right.
I saw one interview from Vitinha, and I think he said that in the first season when Enrique came, it was like, you know what? It was more so like stability, and they weren't rotating like how they were before. It was kind of like getting used to the system, making sure that they understand where everybody is. And then afterwards, it was like, all right, cool. You know what? Now we're going to start having fun with it. Like, do you get me? And I feel like they've just mastered it, where it's like, yeah, man. And the press, I never even spoke about the press. The press is disgusting. It's a nasty press, bro. And again, Dembele, I've got to give him a lot of credit, because a lot of people would have said, yeah, he's not the type to press or whatever the case may be. Bro, Dembele is a pressing nightmare. He's a pressing nightmare, bro. Like, honestly, like, the team is so well coached. Of course, they've got like extreme quality, don't get me wrong. like extreme quality. And whilst obviously I think they've done brilliant as regards to, you know, replacing the superstars and getting like these young, extremely talented players, I'm also not going to act like they haven't spent loads of money.
Yeah, I think that's
Do you
one
get
thing I
me?
wasn't
Yeah.
liking though. That the narrative was also, it was going from like, yeah, praise them, but let's not also go too
Yeah,
crazy. It's like
we're
this
not gonna act.
underdog
Yeah, do
story.
you get me?
Oh,
Yeah, they've got
wow,
the
look at
highest
this.
wage bill in Europe. Like, do you get me? So let's,
Bro, they're backed
let's,
by a nation.
yeah, do you get me? So let's not do too much.
Yeah,
You get me?
yeah,
I
but
do.
yeah, you have to
I
give
do
credit
like
where it's
how
due.
they
Like
built
they're,
the team, how they
yeah,
built this squad, and like you said, with someone like a Vitinho who was on loan at Wolves, do you get me? And then you're looking at what he's done now, like. Neves, bro, obviously extremely talented at Benfica. Do you get me? He's 20 years old. Like, do you get it? Like, bro, he's 20 years old. Like, he's a kid. Like, getting Kvaratskhelia from Napoli halfway through the season. Like, do you get me? Again, brilliant. Like, Doué's been doing great. And a lot of people don't even realize Doué, bro, like, he forced himself into the team because a lot of the time it was Barcola that was starting and Doué was on the bench and Doué was coming on for
oh, bro,
Barcola.
you
Doué
see
was
a
doing
player.
his thing.
It's so easy to see when someone is gonna be up, man. Like even was it the Olympics that he was playing in for France? Yeah, and even from then, I was like, this guy's ridiculous. And then he just came and it's just in the grown sport, he just come and just doing what he likes, just playing with players, doing flicks and matches, and it's actually effective. Like, nah, he's a serious. And even Barcola.
School of Neymar, Doué, Yamal, School of Neymar, bro. They're Neymar sons. Like, School of Neymar, bro. Honestly,
yeah. But it's gonna be tough now to see what Barcola does. See whether he gonna continue trying to fight for a spot or will a team able to price him away. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with him.
For now, like, do you get me? Like, but because man, I think it's good when you've got that competition for places. So, and I was even seeing that. I was seeing them linked with Mastantuano. Do you get me? The Argentinian wonder kids, like, do you get me? Like, 17-year-old, like wonder kid. So if they try to get him as well and then like thing him into the system, but yeah, Enrique, like, do you get just the technical like base of all of these players? Like every single one of those players comfortable on the ball. Like they're happy to receive the ball under pressure. Left foot, right foot, comfortable. Like they've all got a technical base.
And you know what's so nasty about it too, man. Like the technical, and then also they have so many dribblers in that team as well. Team play when everyone's trying to do this 1v1 thing, a player that you can't leave anyone on this pitch 1v1. Otherwise, they can do any of your players from midfield, from the wings. So the system that he's put together is
brilliant.
Crazy.
And I think again, it's the perfect balance as well between having a system, because again, I'm not someone that's saying get rid of systems. Like, do you get me? PSG are clearly operating under a system. They're incredibly well coached, but also Enrique has allowed for individual brilliance. He's allowed for players to express themselves. He's allowed for players to try things off the cuff. And that's what I love. Like, do you get me? When you've got that balance, they're extremely organized. They all press, they all work extremely hard, but at the same time, they're creative. They've got flair. They're gonna do their thing. So yeah, man, PSG.
So, bro, are you in the boat of this was a win for football. This PSG win against Inter.
Again, I think from like a how football is played perspective, then brilliant. But then obviously, if you're talking about funds, state backed amount of money they've spent, then that's a separate conversation. Like, do you get me? So it's one of them ones. So like, it depends on what angle you're coming from. Like, if it's just strictly on the field, like watching them play, then yeah, absolutely brilliant. You know, I've been a massive fan of this PSG, bro. I told you, I've been bigging them up. This is how excited I was when I was watching these. I called Ace when PSG, I think bro might have been sleeping. They were facing Liverpool. I said, bro, this team. I said, this team, bro. I said, and they lost the match, bro. But I said, this team, I said, nah, they're different. Like, I said, they're different. Bro, I was in awe. Like, honestly, man. So yeah, shout out PSG. But yeah, moving swiftly on, of course. There was a third European final. And
was there?
Yeah, man. Bro, you know, Chelsea, Conference League champions. Don't scuff your nose at the Conference League, bro.
I'm joking, man.
Don't
Hey,
do
man, it started off so
that.
promising. I thought
Don't do
Betis had to,
that,
bro. We need to speak about your boy Anthony, man.
bro.
That fraudulent guy. Oh my god.
I only watched the highlights because obviously I was at the Ghana Nigeria match, so I didn't
Oh
watch the
yes,
full
yes,
match.
yes.
Yeah, I didn't watch the full match. I only watched the highlights. So yeah,
Mm,
like you probably could tell me a little bit more.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, no. So I watched it, and yeah, no. Like I said, the started off promising. Betis go a goal ahead. I said, "Wolf, this they have something for me today." They didn't have anything for me today, man. I think the second half again. I think it probably was another clear sign of the physicality. Like in the second half, they just fell off, and it just felt like Chelsea just got stronger and stronger. Palmer woke up and he said, "Yeah, man, we're winning today." So he just, I mean, he dragged them through the line. He said, "Yeah, man, like let's get serious now." So I think once he started clicking and Chelsea started playing, then it just became one-sided. Like it was then just a demolition job in the second half. So Chelsea did what they needed to do, man. But I think this game is just more funny just for I think one because I feel like with Jackson, this felt like another. You know those moments where you could just see that collectively a fan
That
base
hurt.
just goes like
That
like
hurt.
like I was watching my brother. We were like, surely he has to score this. Like you ran the whole, you have to score this. And the fact that he didn't, it was like, and we were just like, we're not shocked. It was I think the Chelsea fan base, like just all of them all together just said, you're just not the guy. Unfortunately, like I think again, it's just more pressure this summer again in terms of what you do in that number 9 position, how they jump in there. So yeah, that was that moment, and then obviously your boy Sancho kissing the trophy. I said, "Oh, there's no way he's going back to United. There's no way he's going back after he tasted freedom
We'll talk
like this.
about it. We'll talk
After he
about it.
tasted freedom like this." So you'll get into that, and then yeah, lastly, Anthony, man, like again, been seeing all the highlights, seeing all the wonder goals, the great touches, and he just looked like again, he just came up against Premier League opposition. Cucurella, and he just said, "Brother, like you're back in serious football." I don't know. I don't know. What do you think the English teams against the Liga like is an indictment at all in terms of the teams outside of Madrid and Barca? Because even Sociedad, bro, I was so shocked of how you guys dealt with them as well. Like Betis, they've been having a good season. Chelsea dealt with them so comfortably. And it's just like after those three, the Barca, Real Madrid, Atletico, I think I felt I rated the like 4th, 5th, 6th teams higher than maybe I'm now feeling after these European matches. I don't know what your thoughts on that is at all, but yeah, man, it was easy for Chelsea in the end.
Yeah, no, I think there is an element. So even talking about Anthony, I think stylistically, I think La Liga suits him much more than the Premier League. So I think there's elements to do with like how you play football and etc. I think that's a little bit of a part of it. I don't know how much to currently read. I think I need like a few seasons because even like the Europa League, for example, like Spain have dominated it. Over like let's say the last 10 years. So I think I'm probably gonna need like maybe like a few more seasons to kind of like garner the evidence and see, all right, cool, you know what? Because I've always been someone where it's like, you know what, obviously I love the Premier League, it's the league that I watch the most. But I do think sometimes like how like English fans kind of like dismiss the other leagues, like, oh yeah, this is the best league in the world. And
I hate that, bro. But then Sociedad go up against United in 16th. I don't want to see United slap you 4-1. Like, well, I guess there's circumstances, but it's just stuff like even just how comfortable it's been for these teams against the teams that are meant to be on the higher end of La Liga.
But that's why I said also that I need to see like a longer, things
sample size, like
because even this
Mm.
season, like Sociedad, they finished 11th. Like, do you get me? So it's like it's not like they were great in the league.
Oh
like,
yeah, and when you also build when I build, sorry, it was even Bilbao's thing I was meant to say, not Sociedad, sorry. But even that was comfortable. Yeah, the Bilbao game that was like how
even with Bilbao, as a Man United fan, of course, like they started much better. We got the goal, then we got the penalty and the sending off, and then obviously from there we got the third, and then it was clear. And then in the second leg as well, they had none of the Williams brothers. Like they were missing key players. Like there's factors. I think I need to see like a sustained, like, all right, cool, over multiple seasons, and then I can kind of make like a more concrete judgment, like from that perspective. But yeah, like I think therefore, like, yeah, Chelsea showed, from what I saw anyway, highlights wise, Chelsea showed better levels. So yeah, man, fair play to them. And moving swiftly on from that, Chelsea obviously were one of the teams to secure Champions League football. Obviously, they got the job done at Forest. And then I think obviously the big talking point was Newcastle and Villa, because obviously Villa faced us. And I watched the match. Villa were dreadful. Like, they were really, really bad.
They were
Like,
shocking.
they were dreadful. Like, funnily enough, it was actually funny because I was watching it. I was just like, this is when United want to try and play football. Like,
You bobbed them off the pitch, man.
Yeah, for this meaningless game. But that being said, I think they were very hard done by the decision. Yeah, like, I don't know.
Oh,
why
you don't think? Really?
Yeah, I think they were very hard done by the decision.
Oh, I thought that was a red. I thought he's a beanhead.
Oh, no, not the red.
Oh, which decision?
The red card was the red card.
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. Yes.
Not the red. The red was a clear red.
Okay,
the red was a clear red. No, it was the goal.
Cool.
So Rodgers, whereas they said, obviously the ref blew for a foul after Rodgers got the ball off Bayern and then put it into the net. And I don't think it was a foul. I think VAR, they would have intervened and overturned the decision, but because the ref had already blown the whistle, they couldn't intervene. And I think, they were hard done by that. Not to say that if that was the case, they would have won the match, like, who knows? But obviously we know how goals can change games. And I think, like, it was very unfortunate. Like, I don't know why the ref was so trigger happy.
Right.
Like, he should have just let it happen.
But you know what? You know why he's trigger happy? Because his refs in the back room are telling him, "No, we're the refs. You be the ref on the pitch." And so
you know what?
These people.
You know what? I even saw something else, and I think this might actually have something to do with it. From what I saw, the majority of the games that he's refereed are in the Championship this season, and obviously in the Championship they don't have VAR. So, like, how you would ref in the Championship, there would be a little bit of a difference, because it's like you wouldn't need to wait for anything because your decision is final because there is no VAR. So I don't know why they would even appoint.
So what you're telling me? What you're telling me is that Villa have a case.
You know what it is? I understand. You know what it is? If I was a Villa fan, I would be really annoyed at the decision. That would annoy me. But I would also be extremely annoyed by the performance because they didn't turn up. Like, do you get me? Like, they just didn't turn up at all. So it's like, from a football perspective, United 100% should have won. And there's not many games that I would have said that. Like, do you get me? But at the same time, the facts remain that at that point in time, it was 0-0. And they should have had a goal scored. And from there, you don't know what happens. Because all they needed was a draw. Because Newcastle ended up losing. All they needed was a draw. They didn't even need to win in the end. All they needed was a draw. So it was a tough one. Like, I did. If it was me, I'd definitely be extremely annoyed. But I'll also be looking at the performance and saying, guys, man, you just didn't turn up.
Yeah, they really put their worst performance of the season in at the most important moment. Like, and then Martinez as well just had I don't know what he was thinking when he came out like that. It was It was terrible, man. So so fair play, man. Newcastle, I guess, like you say, they crawled over the line in the end. So
and obviously, they've still got Europe, Villa as well. So they've got Europa League, and Palace will also play Europa League. Even though I've been seeing recently that there's a little bit of a case going on because I forgot the other team that I think one of the Palace owners has ownership in, but there's a whole thing of like having two teams in a UEFA competition thing going on that I saw recently. So it'll be interesting to see what goes on.
Well, it depends. That sounds similar to what happened with the Radcliffe and
like there was a Nice,
I think Nice. So you got
see.
They might have to just do some unofficial. He's like, it's under my name for this one season. Well, that's interesting.
And very quickly on that as well, Palace, because I don't think we actually spoke about this, but obviously winning the FA Cup, like, they got the job done against City, first major trophy in their history, which is absolutely crazy. Wow, to be the first trophy in major trophy in their history. Massive shout out to them. And like, I thought they'll do it, like, so I wasn't surprised. Like, I backed them to do it. And man, Eze, he stepped up again, man. Like in the semi-finals, he stepped up. Like he's been stepping up for them, especially in this like second half of the season. So yeah, massive win. And yeah, man, like they've got like a good team there. Glasner's done a very, very good job. Again, like he won the Europa League with Frankfurt. He's come to Palace, wins the FA Cup. I do feel like, yeah, they did get lucky again with the Henderson decision. I think Henderson should have got sent off.
That was crazy.
So yeah, that was definitely a bit of luck there. But yeah, big shout out to Palace, man, because yeah, man, like they've got an extremely loyal and passionate fan base, and South London was jumping.
Man, bro, it's really been the year of the underdog, man. The underdogs are really, really shunned this year.
Palace wins their first. Palace win their first major trophy. Spurs end a 17-year trophy drought. Newcastle win their first major trophy in 70 years. I saw Go Ahead Eagles. I think they won like the Dutch Cup. I think it was like 90 something years. Forgive me if I'm wrong. That was an incredibly long time.
Wow.
Aberdeen beat Celtic in the Scottish Cup. And won the Scottish Cup for the first time since 1990. Yeah.
Oh wow.
There was another one as well, but yeah, it's been crazy. Obviously, PSG win their first Champions League ever, so they break that drought. I wouldn't call it underdog, but yeah, they broke the drought. So yeah, and then obviously Kane even getting his Bundesliga.
Oh yeah, bro. It's true. It's true.
Yeah, man. There's been a lot of droughts that have ended, which is crazy. Been a crazy season of football, but yeah, man. Hey. It's time to talk a bit more about United. United. So obviously, yeah. I think we spoke quite a lot prior to the game about what would be the implications as regards to us losing the Europa League final. And at that point, I told you I couldn't even fathom thinking of us losing it. And we did, which is hard. Sad times. And honestly, yeah, like I said, like on the day, man, I was absolutely gutted. Of course, I'm still really annoyed at how we performed in the final, but obviously you've got to move forward. And then, yeah, there's been a lot of transfer stuff that's been going on with us, like a lot of transfers happening. Obviously, I'll start off with Cunha. So, yeah, Cunha, I think that was something that was reported that regardless of whether we won the Europa League or not, that he would have wanted to come. It's nice to know that he didn't change his mind. And yeah, the deal still went through. So I think, yeah, that 62.5 million has been reported as that was his release clause. I think United are paying it in installments. So 3 installments. So I think
it's so funny, how football we've gone from when people used to laugh at installments, so it just being general knowledge. Like I remember the days when that's how you used to get cast at all your favorite installments.
Hey man,
I was like,
PSR, bro. PSR.
That makes a difference.
PSR, bro. On the books, you gotta make sure the books are correct, bro.
I hear it. I hear it. You guys, imagine you guys got points deduction this year.
Hey, man. Gotta make sure everything's good on the books. They said this is not 62.5 this year. This is gonna be under 21 mil.
That's crazy.
So that's important. So yeah, obviously got that deal done, and then obviously Ornstein dropped the bomber.
I can't believe this, man.
He dropped the bomber.
I can't believe it, bro.
Where obviously, yeah, big Brian MB, Brian Mbumo. I even because I always used to say Mbuemo, but I've heard that it's actually Mbumo. So yeah, that's what I heard. So I'm not just, if you feel like if I accidentally say Mbuemo, then yeah, it's because I'm getting used to repronouncing his name. And also if I say Mbumo, it's not because I'm saying it wrong.
Well, you're already affiliated. You're affiliated with him already.
Hey, man. Well, I spoke to him, bro. He told me, bro.
But you heard it here first. Don't sign still delivered.
Hey, man. He told me it's
sign still delivered.
So yeah, now obviously Ornstein dropped the bomb by that. Yeah, Brian Mbumo, he wants to come to Manchester United. He's chosen Manchester United. Amongst the teams interested were Newcastle, Spurs, and Arsenal. And yeah, I feel like this is a really, really good start to the summer. I'm confused even.
Yeah, I thought you guys
This
had
is
to.
competency that I
Yeah,
was not expecting. Like I was like, this is the old school Fergie model.
yeah,
Like this
it's
is what we
logical,
used to do.
sensible signings.
Yeah, this is what we
Like,
used to do.
you
You
know
go
when
look
Athletics
at
did
the
our
Premier League.
sensible signings.
Yeah, bro,
you guys are making all of them. It's
bro, this
crazy.
is what Fergie used to go. He would look at the Premier League, he would look at teams below him, and he'll say, who are the best players in the other teams in the Premier League? He said, all right, cool. Carrick, I like that. Come to United. Do you get me? You say, what? Rooney, Everton, I like that. Come to United. You even see like a Saha at Fulham, Van der Sar at Fulham. Say, I like that. Come to United. Like that was his blueprint. Obviously, you saw Van Persie. Do you get me? Those type of deals, you have to have a certain level of clout.
Guy,
do you get me? I'm not even having a digger. I'm not having a digger Arsenal. What I'm saying is that United, like taking players off of teams at the top, United can't do that right now. Like, do you get me? Like back then, we could even go to that level and like take teams. Whereas now it's a thing of like you have to kind of look at the traditionally more lower teams. Like, do you get me? So it's like, and I think that's why I'm happy with the approach, because I think like we've been sensible. Like again, there's no point. Someone like a Liverpool, you've just won the league. You're the one. Verts, do you get me? That's your ballpark. Do you get me?
Yeah, you're not shopping in the same market no more.
Yeah, like you look at Verts. I was hearing Arsenal linked with like Rodrigo. Yeah, that's. Do you get me? United, this is what you should be doing, bro. Look at Brentford and say what.
Even that being said, man, I can't believe where Manchester United is still running like this in 2025, bro. I can't believe that where Manchester United is making a comeback like this in 2025, bro. Because even amongst the Premier League teams, the teams that could, even the Arsenal, I think that one is probably, I don't know how important it is. But aside from that, like Newcastle and where they are right now, I would think that is an absolute no-brainer to go and play right wing in the Champions League for Newcastle. Did they say, nah, I'm going to United? That's crazy.
So question for you. I can't answer this because obviously I'm extremely biased. Yeah. So this is just a question for you. So if you were a footballer, would you, obviously you're kind of biased as well because you
I am biased. I'm biased that way. But you know what? No, I think it's still a good question because I was
gonna say, because me, obviously I'm biased, but this is me being genuine.
Okay.
I would, but I'm still biased, so you can't take my opinion because I can't take away the biasness. Do you get me? Because it's within me. But I would rather play for Man United than Newcastle. Like, do you get me? Like, all credit to Newcastle and what it is that they're doing. Like, do you get me? They're a massive club, like Champions League football. They've got a good project going on there. But with me, like I feel like that's what I was saying. I think the way of Manchester United, and you know when you're talking about how big a club is, again, like you're not talking about necessarily winning leagues. Do you get me? Of course, winning leagues and stuff like that, that's helped us like create the name that we've got for ourselves. But I think that name has been established now. And what, fam, man's from Cameroon, bro. I can tell you for free. I can tell you for free. Newcastle is bigger than Manchester United in Cameroon. I can tell you for free. If he tells the people of Cameroon he's playing for Manchester United, and he tells the people of Cameroon he's playing for Newcastle, he's going to get much more clout, praise, love for playing for Manchester United.
Okay.
To a girl, bro. If he's chatting to a girl and he says, I play for Manchester United or I play for Newcastle, what do you think is giving him more motion?
I hear it. Man United will probably give him more motion, bro. I hear it. I'm not even arguing. I think if that's your argument, I hear it. But again, being objective the other way, I feel like you're looking at the football Premier League landscape right now. You're thinking, Isak, Gordon, me right wing with what Newcastle have going on. You're outside. You have an outside chance of. I don't even go crazy like a Premier League tie, but I think you have an outside contention chance. And in Europe as well, who knows what can happen. So I think you're looking at that club and it's just a lot more assured in terms of where you and your teammates can go. Whereas with United, you risk
fit for Newcastle.
like with United, there's still that chance of you could still be walking into a black hole type situation where it's like Cunha and Mbeumo is crazy having those two. But again, it's like, what does the rest of the team? Is it still stable? There's still so many more risks and questions there with United going into next year off the back of this season. I think for me, if I'm like trying to make a logical best decision for my career at this point right now, I'm going to Newcastle. I'm not gonna lie. Like that's me being objective the other way. I think so. Yeah,
that's fair. I feel like with me, if I'm like a Premier League footballer, let's say for example, you've got like I'm not even going to involve. Let's say like there's like a Chelsea. Do you get me? You've got Chelsea, and let's say Brighton. Brighton are in Newcastle's position. Do you get me? And they're booming, whatever the case may be, and they're doing their thing. I would rather go Chelsea. Like, if you swapped everything around, I would rather, unless the only time I wouldn't rather go Chelsea is if I genuinely feel like they're doomed. Like, do you get me? Like, yeah. So if you genuinely looked at it and just said, Man United are doomed, like, do you get me? They're doomed, then you wouldn't go there. But if you feel like, because remember, there's always the allure of being the people, the players, the manager to bring United back to the top. Like, do you get me? That's always a thing. Like, you get me, being part of that squad, that thingy, whatever the case may be. Like, do you get me? So I feel like, again, United currently, because of all of the things that have happened, we don't have the capability of like I said, someone like a Rodrigo. Like, we can't do nothing there. Someone like a Verts, we can't do nothing there. But I still feel like for like some of the, don't get me wrong, I don't think it's easy. Like, do you get me? But I feel like this was like the strategy that you should have been going for, where it's just like, you know what? Look at these other teams in the Premier League who have been doing the business for them, and then let's see if we can prize them away.
Yeah,
and
I think United heritage.
Yeah, I think from
heritage.
From what I heard as well, in Mbeumo apparently he was a childhood United fan. I think Cunha again was a United fan.
Yeah, apparently Newcastle were looking at Cunha as well. Apparently,
yeah,
he was another one that they were looking at. United have got under their nose apparently, but yeah.
So I feel like just again, like those are two great signings. I think from my perspective, I feel like.
Oh, bro, wrap this into your. And then, do you think this changes at all with the whole Bruno Saudi stuff recently?
I'm gonna go into everything now.
Okay,
I'm gonna do a quick sweep. So I feel like, from my perspective, I feel like Manchester United, one of our major problems last season or the season just gone was goals. We scored 44 Premier League goals, bro. Only the 3 relegated teams and Everton scored less. Like, do you get me? Only the 3 relegated teams and Everton scored less. We scored 44 Premier League goals. Like, it's shocking. We can't put the ball in the back of the net. That's been a major problem for us. Cunha and Mbeumo, 35 goals between them. Like, I think I saw that they've got more GA than we had goals between the two of them. And I'm not expecting Mbeumo to come and get 20 Premier League goals for United. Like, that's not the expectations for me. One, he's probably not going to be on penalties, so take a few goals away there. And also, like, that isn't what we're buying you for. Like, of course, if you want to do it, brilliant. But we're trying to, like, add goals across the team. So if Cunha can get you like a 10 to 15, if Mbeumo can get you a 10 to 15, if you get a striker who also can get you a 10 to 15, and then what? Ahmad got 8 goals this season, despite not playing really with Ten Hag and missing like a few months from injury. If he can get you, like, you get me, 8 to 10 double digits, click on whatever, Bruno's always going to contribute his goals as well. Like, then now all of a sudden it's like you're getting goals across the team. Like, there's more ways of scoring. Secondly, physicality. That's been a big problem for us. We spoke about it earlier. Cunha immediately increases the physicality of this the side. His ability to ball carry, to get the ball from deep and start running, that is something that we desperately need. He can take the ball from one end of the pitch to the other. He's physical, he can drive, and then obviously he's got technical quality as well, whereas like what he can do from outside of the box. I think I saw that him and Bruno scored the most goals outside of the box last season. So he's a Leng man. If he sees an opportunity, he's gonna take it. Like he's gonna have a shot. And then also like creatively as well. Like, do you get me? Like he can just do things like off the cuff. Like, do you get me? Kind of those players where it's like you don't think about it and you can just produce a moment of magic. We need someone like that. In Mbeumo as well, whilst he's not as tall as Cunha, he's quite a short guy, but he's also very physical. He can ball carry as well, like great at getting the ball and bringing you forward. I think technically as well, very capable. His finishing, like again, man, that's something that we desperately need. Like, so I think Cunha and Mbeumo, having those two there, like the amount of goals that should add, brilliant. And I also like the fact that in those 10 positions, you've got a right footer and you've got a left footer. Like, I think even that, like for balance sake, that's going to be really good. And then if you've got Ahmad at wing back, the interchanges between Mbeumo and Ahmad, that should be interesting to see. So yeah, I think those two signings, I'm not going to lie, like as regards to a start of the window, I couldn't believe it as well. I'm just like, bro, already? Like,
bro, it just came out. It also unprovoked as well. Like, he just even for a player, shocking for a player to even just so publicly, because you put off other teams as well. Like, let's now say United can't agree. Like, now United are the leading team that are negotiating.
Because for anyone else now, if the fee don't work with United, then everyone knows you didn't want to go to that whatever team that you're now going to. So you kind of made a risk with it. Yeah, but I think that instantly makes us better, like instantly. And again, Premier League proven. Cunha, I think he got 15 Premier League goals this season and 12 goals the season before. Like Mbeumo, 20. I think he got 9 in the previous season, but I know he missed like 13 games from injury. So I think he almost definitely would have got double figures in that season, if not for that. And then obviously the season before he got 9 as well. So they've consistently been performing. I think if you look at the expected assists, the chance creation, like all of those stats, like they're nice numbers. They look really good. And yeah, man, like I think we've spoken a lot about, I remember you speaking about like Cunha and João Pedro and talking about like how you love that type of player. Like, do you get me? And then I know in Mbeumo as well, we spoke about him a lot. And I know you've been very passionate that if it wasn't for his hairline, he would
if it wasn't for that, bro. Oh,
you get me?
Even his price tag, bro, he wouldn't be 65. He wouldn't be 60 mil. He'd be at least 100. Like that's even marketing.
I'm even hearing 50. You know,
I've seen it, but I think the fact that he has no release clause, I think he'll at least be 60. And also Cunha went for that price as well.
I think he's got a year left, and then Brentford have an option to extend. So essentially they could force it into 2. But I think the contract situations are a bit different, because with Cunha had just signed a new contract, I think, and that's why they put the release clause. I think he was kind of doing it also to help Wolves. Like it was quite obvious he was going to go, but then it helped them like with that. But yeah, we'll see what the fee is. But yeah, like I think having those two, it directly helps us out.
It's concerning, man. From the outside, I don't like it.
It's really good business. And the fact that it was so early as well, because I think that's going to be really important, because with this system, we need a pre-season where we can work, where I want the players. I don't want to be starting the Prem. And then, don't get me wrong, sometimes it's like you're going to have to wait longer for certain signings and stuff like that. But being able to get these two over the line early, I think integrate them into pre-season, integrate them into the squad, into the system. Obviously, we're going to be playing 1 game a week most weeks. Obviously, we'll have League Cup matches here or there. But yeah, like I think it's going to be like helpful, like as regards to Amorim trying to impose his system. And I'm going to speak a little bit more about Amorim later on. Now, if I'm United, as regards to priorities, because there's a lot to fix. So whilst this is nice, there's a lot to fix. Like, do you get me? Like, this is the Rangnick was talking about the open heart surgery. There's a lot to happen. So I think you've addressed the big problem as regards to goals. I think you need a striker, you need a midfielder, you need a goalkeeper, and then ideally as well, you would get like another wing back and centre back. But I think if Ahmad is going to be deployed as a wing back, then it's probably a bit less of a priority because you've got Dorgu in the summer. So I think they won't see it as much as a priority. And centre back wise, I think ideally you'll have another one. But I actually like quite a few of our centre backs. Like I really like Yoro. I've spoken about him a lot. I like how Aiden Heaven is developing as well. And I think he's going to get much more minutes next season. De Ligt, hopefully he can stay fit. So and like he can be steady there. We'll see how Lissandro recovers. And I see Maz as a centre back in this system as well. So like there's a foundation to work from there. I obviously there's been a lot of conversations as regards to striker. The lap we were in for him, he chose to go to Chelsea. We still obviously therefore need to sign the striker, but as of now, my priority before a striker as regards to outfield players would actually be a midfielder, which sounds funny because obviously like there's been so much talk about strikers at United and Højlund and etc. But I think Cunha and Mbeumo, what that does goal wise helps us out a lot. And I even feel like someone like a Xerxes, I feel like
you benefit.
Well, yeah. I think having those two players, like having players that can run beyond him, he's obviously technically sound, like he loves to link up play. So I think that can work really well. Don't ever get it twisted. We 100% need to sign a striker in this window, like 100%. But where I'm now worried a bit more is our midfield, because I'm looking at it and I'm like, cool, you've got Cunha left 10, Mbeumo right 10. Let's say you've got Dorgu and Ahmad as the wing backs. You plug in a striker there. Let's say Xerxes there for now. Like, do you get me? Then I'm looking at the midfield and I'm like, cool, Bruno. And now we'll get onto that. Obviously, we had the whole Saudi thing going on. Like, I was hearing reports that they were willing to offer as high as 120 mil. Like, do you get me? Like, they really wanted him. I was hearing Bruno was going to be on 700k a week, all of that stuff. Like, do you get me? Yeah, like ridiculous money that they were going to offer. Absolutely ridiculous money. And obviously, this has been like a big talking point amongst the United fans, because I feel like you have a lot of fans who are absolutely delighted that he hasn't gone. And then you have some fans who are like, you know what? No, I think there's three sections. I think you have some fans who are absolutely delighted that he hasn't gone. You've got some fans who really like Bruno, but they believe that for the overhaul that the squad needed and for the rebuild that the squad needed, it was like a thing where it's like he needed to be sacrificed. And then you've got some fans who are like, you know what, bro, I don't like Bruno, get rid of him, get us the money, let's get some better players. So I feel like there's been loads of different conversations in regards to United fans and where people sit and like people's viewpoints and whatever the case may be. Obviously, it's been announced now that Bruno's staying. I think with Bruno staying, like I'm looking at it and I'm thinking systematically, where is he going to fit? Because it looks like he's going to be one of the two midfielders with now Mbeumo and Cunha being signed. And if he's one of the two midfielders, we need to therefore make sure that we've got the right profile next to him. But even if we do have the right profile next to him, I think there's question marks, because again, you saw in that Europa League final, he really struggled. I think against Chelsea, he really struggled. There's been times where I've seen him do actually well there. Again, where he's looked after the ball, where he's been nifty, he's looked quite mobile, he's been giving and going. It hasn't looked like he's consistently getting bypassed, but he's going to have to be able to do that like all the time or the majority of the time if that's going to be your role now in this team. And I think there's question marks as regards to, are you going to be able to do that? Because one thing that he will be able to do, like, is that he is someone that can break the lines. So like from deep, he has got the passing range where it's like he can break the lines to our attackers. But then obviously that's not all that there is to it. Like, do you get me? To be a central midfielder. And I think it's with a lot of the other things where there's question marks as regards to how is that going to work. Like, obviously, Cunha and Mbeumo, they're not necessarily going to play every game, so he might play 10 some games, like, do you get me, or whatever the case may be. But I think ultimately, when we're looking at our strongest lineup, he's going to be a midfielder. and there's a lot of question marks as regards to how that's going to work. So I think that's a big thing, because I know with the revenue, I saw people, United fans were already putting together like their dream
Oh, they're
lineups.
spending that money.
Grab Belabor from Brighton. Before
Damn.
dreaming of Wharton, like, you get me? They were
Oh,
saying, all right,
damn.
let's do this, let's do that. So now, yeah, things are looking a bit different. We 100% need to get another midfielder, though. Like, with me, that's as regards to how Amorim potentially wants to play, like, that is so
and then
crucial.
what's the profile of that midfielder?
So I think someone like a Belabo would be brilliant. But I think the amount of money that you're gonna have to pay for him is gonna be
forget about
it's
it.
gonna be
Forget
because I think someone you need someone who's like obviously physical and can get up and down the pitch, but also who has like a good passing range. Like, do you get me?
But yeah, he'd actually be amazing in that
Yeah,
role.
like, so yeah, like, you're looking at him and you're thinking, okay, you know what, that would be brilliant. But now we've got to look at, again, funds. So Bruno staying, we're looking at Anthony, we're gonna try sell. We're looking at Rashford, we're gonna try sell. Obviously, Garnacho, do you get me? I heard Amrim said you best pray you find another club, which is crazy.
Bro, in front of everyone, bro.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. Do you get me? And you know one thing I'll say about Amarim, yeah, he has underperformed this season. Like, whatever way any United fan wants to slice it, that's just the facts of the matter. If you can talk about Ineos, I've spoken about Ineos. You can talk about the Glazers, I've spoken about Glazers. You can speak about the ownership, I've spoken about the ownership. You can speak about the wider structural issues, I've spoken about the wider structural issues. And I'm telling you, with all of those things, he still underperformed. Because anyone who's telling me when he came, you were expecting to finish where we finished. If I asked every single one of you, where's the lowest you expect to finish, none of you would have said 15.
What was it? 18 losses.
Yeah, no one would have said 15. So don't lie. Like, you get me? Everyone just be honest. Like, even if you want him to stay, just be honest. Don't lie. Like, I don't like people lying. Like, do you get me? Because you can't now just say, oh yeah, as long as he just didn't get relegated, he's done well. Like, that's not true. Like, do you get me? So, like, he's underperformed. If you still believe in the vision and you're like, you know what, I believe with a transfer window, he can turn things around once he's had a preseason, like his formation, etc. Like, he can integrate things how he wants to integrate it, and he can turn things around. Then cool, but don't lie. Like, do you get me? So, one thing I will say is that I think he is the type of personality that will be helpful with a rebuild, in terms of, like, he does seem a bit cutthroat, which is something that you do kind of need. Like, do you get me? Yeah, like, again, with the Garnacho stuff, like, do you get me? Rashford, I love Rashford, do you get me? But if you don't see him as part of the vision and you think there's problems there and you're like, cool, this is what it is, then, do you get me? That's what we're doing. And I think this United team has needed to be ripped up for a long time. And I think, like, so many players that need to go. Like, obviously, Lindelof's contract's expired now. He's gone. Eriksen's contract expired. He's gone. Johnny Evans, love him. Do you get me? But obviously, he's retired now. Then obviously, you've got your Anthonys, you've got your Rashfords, you've got your Garnachos, and of course, you've got your Sanchos, which I'll get onto. But yeah, like, now it's all about raising funds and selling. So I think currently now, Cunha, get Mbeumo over the line, because as much as everyone's excited,
it'll be so funny.
Now
the Bruno money's not on the table, like, we're struggling to find the funds.
I think the Mbeumo one should be calm, because from most reports that I've seen, it was like United had like a little over 100 mil to spend prior to sales. So I think that's literally the max that they can do. Like, do you get me? So I think from now, it's now sales. So, and I think I was saying that, I was just like, yeah, get this over the line, because you can't wait around with certain signings, because they won't be there later. Like, do you get me? Or when you become more desperate, then the clubs are now going to start charging you more extortionate fees. Is what happened with Anthony. Even though Anthony was a flop at United, I think Anthony was available for around 40 million earlier that summer. We messed around, waited. Ajax saw we were desperate, and we paid almost close to 90. Like, so that's why sometimes it's like you just need to get your business done. So getting Cunha getting Mbumo done, like that's extremely important. Like get those two over the line. Then now it's like cool sales. Let's start generating revenue. Let's rid of people. Start getting rid of people, trimming the squad out, and then from there it's like, all right, cool. Midfielder, striker, and goalkeeper. Let's get those done, and then anything else we can get done as well. Brilliant. But yeah, that's how I would be approaching this. So yeah, again with Sancho, we've seen that obviously Chelsea have said that, you know what, we're going to pay you the 5 mil, because I think they were trying to renegotiate the wages, and yeah, man, like Sancho's team, they didn't want to drop to whatever Chelsea wanted him to drop to. So now he's back at United. And one thing I'd say to United is that my name's Major. I've been a lifelong Manchester United fan. All my life I supported this club. My dad's from Manchester. He's always supported this club. I've got a law degree. I've worked in a law firm. I can look at contracts. If you need help, shout me. Because how
where you go with this?
How you've negotiated a contract where it's an obligation to buy, but you've put a clause in there where they don't need to fulfill the obligation.
Bro,
what on
Chelsea,
earth are you guys doing?
Like, you know, did Chelsea pay a loan fee, by the way? Did Chelsea pay a loan fee? Did Chelsea pay a loan fee for this?
That's part of the wages.
They just paid part of the wages.
Bro,
what a terrible deal.
So how you've negotiated a deal where it's an obligation to buy, but they don't have to obligate. Like there's an obligation, but they don't have to fulfill the obligation. Like, what kind of negotiation?
You know what is that? Yeah, you know what's the worst about that, bro? Is I think it just shows everyone this summer as well that that's the kind of deal you were willing to make last summer. 25 mil obligation worth 5 mil back, because basically Chelsea must have told them, if you don't put that 5 million, we're not gonna take him. So it's up to you. I was like, you will put a 5. That clearly just like,
honestly, I think if he wants to maintain those type of wages, then it's Saudi. Like that's the only place that's gonna pay you. Like, that's literally the only place.
And also, too, that's why
no one else is gonna pay you that.
Nah, 100. And that's why for him too, I think he's making a business decision right now. He said, I can drop my wages to Chelsea and be fit within their wage bracket for a 7-year contract on 120k a week, or I can go back to United, spend my last year of my contract, and then be a free agent, and then I can negotiate probably a better deal with another club. I think it expires 2026. He's going into his final season when he comes back to United. Like, he's going into his final season. Yeah, you can search it. I was looking at early. He's going into his final season. So again, that's why I think that's also probably a fact in his mind where he's like, one season, I will see what happens if I play or not. But then when he leaves now, and ultimately, I think he will end up in Saudi because I think no other club is going to pay him anywhere near this.
Because I was about to say, even if you do that, then if anything, I feel no. Let me even say that. But yeah, even if you do that, teams aren't, once your contract's finished, teams still aren't going to pay you that.
They're not.
They're not going to pay you that.
They've seen it like in 4K. It's not worth the money. Yeah.
I'll repeat it. United, if you need help, I'm not chatting. Ace, did you or did you not go uni with me?
I did, man. I was there.
Were you or were you not at my graduation?
I was there. I witnessed it.
Did I get a law degree or not?
You did. You did get a law degree.
So, United, if you need help with the contracts, shout me, because I don't know what's going on over there. Do you get me? So well, obviously, so we're gonna have to find a solution with that. I know Rashford, there's been links to Barca. I think that's his dream destination. Again, we'll see what happens there. I don't know what's gonna go on there. Anthony, again, like Betis can't afford him, I don't think. There's been links with other teams, like we'll see what happens there, and then Garnacho as well, we'll see what happens there. But we've got like sales that we need to sort out.
It's a fire sale as well. It's literally a girl you can get for a lot of these man, because even Hoyland, there's these linked to
Inter. I saw that. I think that was the same day as the Mbumo news, and I said, "Hoyland, man, honestly, it's nothing personal. You seem like a great guy, man. I'll never like just grill you for no reason. Do you get me? But I think it's the best for both parties. Just move on, man. So man, United. I think now that's where we're at. It's like Cunha in Brumo, you got those two under the line.
Mm.
Brilliant. Like, do you get me? Brilliant. Like, brilliant. Right 10, left 10. That solves a big problem. Now it's still early in June. Sales.
Yeah.
And then get that done, and then now we can start plugging the holes into the rest of the squad. So
But again, bro,
what I was scared of was that I thought what we might do is that we'll sign Cunha, not be proactive with Mbeumo, and then miss out on him, and then try to do the whole sales thing, and then we're scrapping around towards the end of the market. Like, and that's what I didn't want to happen. I was just like, be smart, United. Like, do you get me? Be smart. Like, so they've done, actually, again, I couldn't believe it, because I was like, this is actually competency.
Yeah,
Like,
and bro, I think that's where I think that now we need to see, like, you know, like when you like they're like halfway through being competent.
Yeah.
The other half now that United have struggled with for years and years and years is that even all of these players that we know need to go and need to be sold. How is that process gonna go? And so, are you also gonna just wait? Is it gonna be the final weeks and now it's £5 million buyout of obligation deals for Rashford at 50 million? Like, you really, and like, but again, I think it's a consequence of when your team is not in a good place. Like when you don't have assets that people want, it's like, we're not gonna be breaking down your door to come buy the bums that aren't good enough for your team.
It's not, like, you know what it is? I think that's a part of it, but you know what one of the major problems is, bro? It's the wages.
Yeah, the wages. That's what's killed you guys. They've
a problem for ages, man. We put these guys on these
Anthony, who's going to give Anthony 200k a week? Who is going to give Anthony 200k a week?
Like, even someone like a Mount, like, even if you wanted to sell him, bro, he's on what, like 250, bro? Like, do you get me? It's just
impossible.
Like the wages, like,
that's been the biggest factor. You're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
Like, that's always the problem. It's like, because there's one thing a team willing to pay. I feel like the fee thing is not even too, but it's the wages. Because what happens is that a club will look at it and say, cool, either this player reduces their wages, or if we pay you a certain wage, we are reducing the fee, because we need to make up for it in some way. We need to make up for it. So if we're going to be paying this player X amount a year, then we are not paying this as a transfer fee. We need to make that up. Like, do you get me? And then we're stuck again. So I feel like, man, like, even when you look at someone like a McTominay, who's done what he's done at Napoli, do you get me? Bro, a good selling club should be getting more money. Like, do you get me? You should be able to get more money for him. Like, do you get me? Like, if you look at how, like, City sell players, or even Chelsea,
bro, Chelsea, youngsters that you've never seen in your life,
bro, my days, man. Bro. So we're really bad at that, man. So but man, we'll see what happens for the rest of the.
And also, last thing on the Bruno thing, bro. Like, I think this is also, it's gonna be so interesting to see what if you do also get the Mbeumo over the line. Which I think if you get Mbeumo over the line, it's also, like, just to quickly touch on what that does look like. Is it a thing where now you're going long term, like you say, that Bruno is going to be one of your sixes in your system? Is it a rotation thing, or is that competition for places? Like, it's I think that thing is going to be very telling, because I also feel like because he became so close to leaving, it's going to be extra annoying now for the people that were already spending that money or did think that it was time for him to finally go, to now see him in United again next season if it doesn't work out. You guys don't improve. Like, I think he's become a bit more of a lightning rod now if it doesn't work out next year.
But also, I think I think that's more so a thing with the fans. But I think with the management, from all the reports, Amorim didn't want Bruno to leave. Like, I think the club weren't trying to sell Bruno. They'd said he's not for sale. So I feel like they had made their plans with Bruno in mind. So I think someone like a Cunha, Mbeumo, etc. Like, I think they've already, like, put all of that into his thinking, especially Amorim, because Amorim, from reports, even publicly, said it that he doesn't want Bruno to go. Like, do you get me? I think even when they were talking about, but we need money, they said we'll raise sales another way. Like, do you get me?
He was adamant.
He was adamant. So I think he has got whatever his plan is. As regards to whether that works, we'll wait and see. But I think as regards to, I don't think it was a thing of like, he was planning without Bruno, and then we signed Mbeumo, and then it's like Bruno doesn't end up leaving, and he's like, oh, what should I do? I think his plan, I'm not talking about the fans, but his plan was for Cunha, Mbeumo, and Bruno to all be here at the same time. Like, so I think that was his plan. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro, on to the Arsenal. And hey, man, there's some stuff going on. I'm hearing Zubimendi quotes. I'm seeing Zubimendi quotes as regards to, Xabi Alonso. Like, I love him. If he was to call me,
yeah, he definitely didn't say that, bro. He didn't say that. You added that bit in.
Bro,
that
he
wasn't
said,
part of the quote.
Bro,
he didn't say if he was to call me, bro. I've seen the quote.
No, they asked him if he was to call him. He gave the man thing.
Yeah, no, bro. You know what happened? What happened was, and like what always happens is like he gave an interview, and people have taken out all the context and then just left the bits that are spicy. He said, "I'm not trying to do hypotheticals." Like was that kind of the lies? Everyone's removed all of that bit, and it's like, yeah, if he called me, it's not that. And either way, I don't really care. It's Romano's the one that told us is here we go. So it's either here we go, it's not here we go. What's my own? I'm also not like dying over Zubimendi coming or not coming. But this bit is funny. I'll let you find the quotes. But yeah, people are definitely
I'm just saying
what he actually said.
All I'm saying is just like, bro, I was just saying what I read. Like, do you get me? Like, I'm not even.
It's the aggregators. They're making it spicy.
I went out here like just
I thought you tried to do a Liverpool to us.
Okay. He said, my future, this is what has been quoted. My future will be a long summer. I don't know how it will end. If Xabi Alonso calls me to join Real Madrid, I've always said Xabi is my idol, and it was a privilege to have him as my coach at Real B. If he called me now, I don't want to talk about that hypothesis. I'd rather talk about the present. It would be disrespectful to talk about that while I'm on national team duty. I posted pics on the Spanish beach while rumors said I'm in London doing medical exams for Arsenal. Yes, I did that to make it clear those rumors were not true. That's what I said. I'm not saying he's not going to Arsenal.
I actually didn't, because I haven't actually seen that last bit about the pictures on the beach. All I saw
I'm not saying he's not going to Arsenal, but I was just saying I was reading the quotes because I was seeing people reacting to it, and they were basically saying, "Oh, we thought this was nailed done," and then basically, like Zubimendi was basically saying that it's not. Like, do you get me? But we'll see what happens. Like, to be fair, me personally, I still think you'll get him. Like,
I think so too. Just how strong the hell he goes, and it's been so unprovoked. Everyone's even asking, like, did that medical happen? Like, what's going on here? So even
he was saying. So. I think that was the thing. Yeah, I think he said that. Again, unless I'm being unless I'm being twagged, but no, these quotes are widely reported from multiple different sources. But he said that like he wanted to make it clear those rumors were not true as regards to the medical and him being in London and stuff. Like, so yeah, we'll see what happens there. But bro, that wasn't even my main talking point. I think with Arsenal, there's only one main talking point, and that's striker. And I'm gonna ask you an off-the-cuff question.
Oh, I'm listening.
Osimhen, Gyökeres, Sesko, rank them. Preference as regards to who you'd like to come to Arsenal.
Oh, okay. I'll work backwards. I think the player I would put in third, I think I would put Gyökeres in third place. The reason why I'll put Gyökeres in third place is because, again, man, the tax of the league. It's such a difficult thing to put into perspective, going from the Portuguese league to now coming and doing this in the Premier League. And to be fair on him, in Europe, when I have seen him, he's also shone in the big game. See what it's like, the sample size that we're looking at. I think I saw something like, it was like, which this might be a stat that I need to look into more, because it might track across all elite strikers, but it's like his goals to games ratio against the bottom half of the table is like 2 per game. Then when he gets at the top 8, it's at 1.2. But again, that might just be a stat that tracks maybe normally. But again, I see that, and it just makes me feel like maybe you're also bullying these teams in this league that you can bully to a certain degree. So I think there's a bit more of a risk with him. Again, that's not to say that he won't come in or he won't go to another team and he won't absolutely bang, because the one thing I'll say about him is that his finishing ability is ridiculous. Like, I think he's definitely one where I'm thinking if I rank all three of them in terms of in front of goal, who I think would actually finish a chance, if given, I think it will be him. I think he's probably the most clinical out of the three right now, is my take on him. But I think when I see him in tight spaces, I see he's dribbling sometimes. When he doesn't, he in my mind is, if Højlund was to reach his full potential and be the best type of striker Højlund can be, I think that's what Gyökeres is in terms of what he shines in. Like, so like, honestly, bro, I'm like, if Højlund was to go and look at who he can either, like, whose career he could try, or what type of striker he could try be like in terms of on the world stage, I think it'll be what we've seen from Gyökeres right now, because it's running the wings, it's putting in crosses, it's being a problem for the centre backs, it's being rough. But when I think of about what Arsenal come up against in the Premier League, where it's 10 men inside their box and it's now find that little inch to get your shot off, I don't know how good he'll be in those kind of tight situations. So I think he's third for me. But again, if we get him, I'll hope for the best, and I think I want him to succeed. Second, I'm going to actually say Osimhen. Osimhen is second, but it's very that one is actually close now between second and first, because I think in general I think I've said this before, like I'm not Osimhen's like biggest fan in general in terms of like my overall opinion of him just in general. I think I'm not as hyped as I think a lot of people are on Osimhen in recent years, but I do think in terms of a good balance between what I've seen you be able to do, what I've seen you do in the past when he was at Napoli, and the quality of striker that you are, like I think he has his deficiencies as well when it comes to maybe like just sometimes I think he's also a bit rough and he can be a bit, I don't know, maybe the unpredictable type strikers where he gives me kind of like a Aubameyang vibes too sometimes, where it's like you can be clinical sometimes and sometimes you might miss that free chances I think you should score. He gives me those kind of vibes sometimes. And so I think he's one is a bit, again, it's a risk maybe just because of what people are saying about what wages and what he might ask for. But that one is tight. I'm going to then put Sesko first just because I think unlike Gyökeres, I think he has scored goals in a higher, more competitive league in Germany. I think he's still much younger, 21 compared to Gyökeres at 27. So I think he also has, as much as we need to win now, we also need to win in 2, 3, 4 years. And I think he probably has the potential to really be the striker that could really explode. Because I've seen people compare him to it. Again, he's a different type of player. He might never be as good, but he's in a similar place to where Isak was when he left to go to Newcastle, where it's like you're talented, no one can see the quality, but it's money, and people aren't really trying to pay that money for you. So it would really piss me off if like we don't want to pay the money for Sesko and he ends up being the next guy in 2 years now that we're all thinking, why didn't we go and get him when he was 70 mil? And even because now he looks like he's worth more than that. But again, it's a risk because we need something right now, and he's young, and he's also the most raw out of the three. So I think that's why it's tough. But I think I would ultimately right now probably go Sesko just because I think the physical ability that he has as well in terms of like his power, his leap. I think he's also quite tidy on the ball. He's dribbling what I've seen. I think he has a good shot in him. I think he has enough there where I feel like between him and us buying in other positions, I also don't think we also just need we must get the 30 goal striker or we're doomed. I think with us too, it's also get me at least a 15, 20, and then we get a left winger, we get other players to be more creative, and we get more goals that way too as a team, if that makes sense in terms of our need for a striker. I also don't think it's purely just a complete goal scorer. I think someone who can kind of add to the goals in our team. Havertz is still there, whether people think about him or not. That's like we get a left back, we get players in other positions. That means that we're much more of an attacking threat and we're a lot more, like free flowing than we were this season. I think those can make as equal a difference as the final striker we get. But ultimately, bro, it's a massive, massive decision because I think we're going to get one of them and the other one's going to go somewhere else. And we're going to find out in a very quickly whether we made the right choice. So that's why they can't rush this one. Like, I think I've seen Arsenal fans start to be like, oh man, we need to just pick one and just go. But I'm like, bro, if you pick the wrong one, then it could be long for us and we're not going to be, it's not going to be great, man. So yeah, I think that that's kind of like my overall kind of take on all three strikers.
It's crazy because, I think you have certain transfers where like within a fan base, like everyone's quite united. Like, yeah, this is like, for example, United, Cunha and Remo. I think the majority of United fans, everyone says, yep, we're very happy with that. Like, do you get me? No one's saying, oh, why are we signing Cunha? Why are we signing Bremer? It's like, yeah, no, everyone's pretty much like, we're all on board with that. And then you have other things, like, again, I'll use United as another example with the Bruno sale, where it's like, it's much more divisive, where it's like, you have some United fans saying, oh, we should have sold him, got the money, rebuilt. Some people are saying, no, he's our captain, like, we still need him here, etc., whatever the case may be. And I think with this striker one for Arsenal, yeah, man. Oh, it's so divisive. I've seen so many different, because it's so funny because I've like your list, literally, I can ask someone else and they're gonna have Sesko third. Like, do you get me? Osimhen second and Gyökeres first. I'll ask someone else, they're gonna have Osimhen first, Sesko second, Gyökeres third. Like they're just literally. I feel like that's why I was curious to hear your opinion on it, because I've just seen so many different people come with different opinions as
No,
regards.
Osimhen was a good shout to put
Right,
in there though, because I haven't actually seen that one as much recently. Like I actually
yeah.
kind of wasn't thinking about Osimhen recently, but it's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
shout.
I think the major,
Yeah,
because I think the
yeah,
main, as regards to Arsenal's interest, the major interest
yeah.
that's been reported has been between Sesko and Gyökeres. So,
Mm.
yeah, I think it's a massive one still.
Yeah.
I
Also,
think,
sorry, so can I add one more factor I forgot to
go on,
mention
bro.
too? I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
also what ultimately I think will be the biggest factor here too is what Sesko is going to go for. If it's like 90 mil or something, then I say go get him a 60 million pound Gyökeres. So I also think it's like relative to what the clubs are trying to sell them for as well in terms of the final price. Because then I think that's where my risk tolerance kind of changes, like depending on that. So yeah, so sorry, I just want to add that in.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
like previously, obviously these are just reports, but I heard that um, Arteta fancies Sesko more and Berta fancies Gyökeres more.
Mm.
Which actually that makes sense, because I think Gyökeres at Atletico Madrid, I think that makes a lot of sense. Like I think he's the type of player that could fit in very well there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think this whole striker thing, I remember saying this with like when you guys were like linked to Watkins in the January transfer window, and I feel like there's pros and cons to all of these different strikers. Like, so you look at Gyökeres and you think the goal record is insane. Like, you're 26, about to be 27, unless he's turned 27 already.
Yeah, I thought
So
it was
you're in
27.
like prime age. Do you get me? Should be at the peak of your powers. Like, you're hoping, like, mentally, confidence wise, like you've developed to a place where you can hit the ground running. But then you look at it and you say,
He's 27 tomorrow. Sorry.
27 tomorrow. Yeah, I thought he was about to turn 27. So yeah. But yeah, so you look at it and you're thinking, cool, prime age, you should be able to hit the ground running, like mentally, like you should be at a more advanced place. You've done a lot in your career as regards to your playing in the championship, like you're at Coventry, you worked your way through that, and then you've gone to a completely different league. You've done what you've done, scored Champions League goals, and again, you're thinking, all right, cool. But then you look at the league and you say, how far can this translate? We're looking at the league, the quality of the league isn't near the Premier League's level. Is that going to be able to translate? You look at some of the goals, or a good amount of the goals rather, that he's scored, and you're looking, like there seems to be a lot of transitional goals here. Like, do we really play like that? Like, how are you gonna fare when teams are setting up with a low block against us, etc.? You look at things like, oh, aerially, what's your threat like? Are you gonna be able to help us there? Like, I think people have spoken about his headed goals, and I think headed goals, honestly, I think it has been a bit overstated, but I do acknowledge that, yeah, like, obviously it is a factor. Like, do you get me, as regards to strikers scoring goals? I think it's something that can come along as well, because I remember Rooney when he was at United, and obviously he's not a tall guy, bro. This guy could not head a ball for anything. Then all of a sudden, literally, I don't know, he was working on it in the summer. Do you get me? And then, bro, he just became really good in the air. So yeah, like, I think those things can be interesting. But yeah, so you're looking at Gyökeres and you're thinking, yeah, I don't know. Then Sesko, you're looking at him and you're thinking, all right, cool. He's someone where you're young, your goal record isn't anything extraordinary, but you're looking at the potential and you're thinking potentially from a technical aspect, like, you've got a lot of things going for you here, and like potentially, like, you may be able to, like, explode into a player. Like, we'll wait and see how that translates. Obviously, you're playing in a better league as well. And yeah, like, as regards to how Arsenal play, maybe that will translate more. You've got someone like a Osimhen, who he's got the goals in Syria, in a tough league, in a league which a lot of people know it for, like, defending as well. And yeah, he's been able to get the job done. Brought Napoli their first title since the days of Diego Maradona. So he's been able to deliver from that aspect. like aerially, he's a massive threat.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
do
a
you get me?
monster in
Yeah,
there.
he's a
Yeah,
monster in the air. Like, do you get me? So you know that he's gonna like be getting goals there. Again, peak age, peak powers. But then I think some people are questioning maybe bits of his overall game. Some people are questioning obviously wages, which is a big factor as regards to how much money he wants. And you're thinking, where do you want to go? And I think, yeah, I've seen a lot of Arsenal fans say either one. And I think it's just
what's your take? I guess from the outside, right
for
now, who do you think? I guess but I guess based
for
on
Arsenal or
for
for
Arsenal,
for
yeah,
Arsenal.
yeah.
For Arsenal, I go Osimhen.
You got Osimhen. I do hear that.
Yeah.
I do hear
For
that.
Arsenal, I go Osimhen.
He could be nasty,
Yeah.
to be fair.
I think for Arsenal, I actually go
Yeah.
Osimhen.
I think with Osimhen, but what do you technically how good do you think Osimhen is? That maybe that's my concern. But I don't know if it's a fair concern.
I think he's proficient. Like, do you get me? Like, I don't think he's outstanding. Like, do you get me? But it's like from when I've watched him, like his hold up play isn't bad. Like he links up relatively well. Like, but I think he's such a box presence. like I think in the box, bro. Yeah, in the box and I feel like, you know, when you're speaking about like low blocks and stuff like that, like I think he will be fine there. Like, do you get me?
Chaotic as
yeah,
well.
Yeah, he's just like he's gonna cause chaos, like aerially, like even movement wise, like he can get you the tap in. Like, you know, when we were talking about like certain fundamentals where it's just like, like someone like a Hoyland, like he can't anticipate, like he can't. Do you get me? There's a reason McTominay's always getting to the ball before you. There's a reason you're always half a second late. Like, I think things like that. Like, I think Osimhen, like, do you get me? Like, when as regards to, bro, stay in the box and do your job. Like, I think he'll be able to do his job, and then linking up well. Like, I think, yeah. And then obviously the goals that he's been able to score, like he's been able to do what he did at Napoli, etc. Like, so I feel like I would probably feel the best for him there. I think Gyökeres. I like Gyökeres.
Yeah, you know, I think Gyökeres. If it was like United or Chelsea, I feel like
I was just about to say. I feel like Gyökeres suits us. I think Gyökeres, because I was even saying that I think next season as well, even looking at Cunha, looking at Mbeumo, etc. I think United are going to be a very transitional team. Like, you get me? Like, yeah, like, I feel like we're very, even if you're looking at like the ball carrying like profiles, whatever, I see us being I don't think we're going to be a high base possession team. I feel
again, that's not really your, that's not your.
I think we're going to be a very transitional team. However, though, it's difficult because, while saying that, I still feel like when it doesn't necessarily translate to the Premier League, but when someone's got a feeling of scoring goals, like, do you get me? I feel like that's something that, bro, is crucial. Like, do you get me? And I think from a confidence level as well, but like, he looks like the type of character, like, obviously there's only so much you can know about this, but he looks like the type of character where it's just like he's gonna go there and he's gonna like be able to like deal with the pressure better. Like, do you get me?
Yeah,
like,
there's
I think, I think and I think that's the thing, because I think with Gyökeres and Osimhen, because of their ages, there's an expectancy, and they know there's an expectancy that they are required to come there and hit the ground running. Whereas with Sesko, there's a whole thing of like, you're 21, 22, and I feel like there's always an out. Like, there's always an out. There's always, if it doesn't thingy, where it's just like, bro, he's only 22. Like, in 2 years' time, and like, do you get me? He's gonna be 20. Look, how old is this person? How old is that person? And I'm not even saying that that's not fair.
Yeah,
like,
again, there's the context of the situation you're in. Yeah,
I think that's the thing. For what Arsenal need, Nobody's trying to hear that. So I'm even a bit scared for him. Like, you get me? Because I just feel like the pressure is gonna be so much. Like everybody's expecting you to be the.
But that's my thing. Like, but maybe as a fan, where I feel dark is even Osimhen gives me more hope. Gyökeres also scares me because he also strikes me. He could either come and bang, but he can come and be terrible. Like I feel like it's gonna be like one or other. He's either gonna shine or he's gonna be shocking them. We're gonna be like, this is not a Premier League footballer.
I think for Arsenal, that's why I said I think I'll go Osimhen. Like I feel like he's I think because even like he looks, and I think even just like personality wise as well, he looks like the type of personality that will be able to handle it better than the others. Like I think even if you look at obviously Napoli and what happened there as regards to the pressure to deliver that title, but even afterwards, like obviously how they treated him with that the whole admin stuff, like do you get me, and them doing all that rubbish, and then obviously the whole fallout had happened, and like he found himself like having to go to Galatasaray, and I think for a lot of players you're gonna be like, bruv, what? Like, do you get me? I'm one of the best strikers in the world. Like, do you get me? Like, look at what I've done. Like, and I feel like, but he's like just taking it in his stride. He said, "Alright, cool. These are the circumstances of the situation." And he's embraced it, and he's just said, "Alright, cool. Like, do you get me? Like, we're just gonna rock on with it." So yeah, like I feel like Osimhen, I like him. Like I do like him as like striker. Just get the ball in the back of the net. Like I think risk wise, I feel like that's the because I feel like where you are in the position, I think where you are as a club, I feel like because of everything that's happened in the last 5 years and you not being able to get over the line, I feel like a lot of people are very risk averse now. It's like, they're not. I feel like with United, because of where we finished, for example, it's like, that's why I said Cunha and Mbeumo, they're two very good signings, because I feel like with United, because of where we finished, bro, we can't afford to get your 21-year-old, 22-year-old that is from a different league that you and might not bang. Like, we need to the chances we need to do. Of course, anything can happen. They can come and still not do well. Like, it's football. Like, do you get me? And Manchester United have ruined more than one player. Do you get me? I hope it doesn't happen. But you have to look at the factors and think, all right, cool. Like, chance-wise, percentage-wise, what is as close to a banker as we can get?
That's what you've got.
That's what you've got.
You've got players that any other team in the league would want. Like,
you get me. Premier League proven, tick. Physicality, tick. Scores goals, tick. Even Cunha plays in pretty much the same system, tick. Like, you've looked at it and said, all right, cool. These are close as we can get. Like, anything can happen, but this is as close as we can get. Like, do you get me? Whereas if you get someone with maybe like a great potential, might come in, it might flop, and it's like, we don't have space to flop.
But brother, then this is the issue.
So I think with Arsenal now, I think where the pressure is now is because like you've not been able to get over the line. Now what people are seeing is like, bro, there's no space to flop. Like there's no space. You need to bang. And I feel like it's hard. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
No, it is. Like, and also because, bro, because there's also just not that, because again, like you said, we're putting Osimhen. Osimhen is not really right now. It's Sesko,
it's Gyökeres or Sesko.
And again, it's like we say, there's so many flows that we can give for both of them. But neither of them might bang. But again, this is why better. This is why you're paid. This is your job, brother. And this is why you're the position you're in. That you need to go interview, look at whatever you need to look at, speak to whoever you need to speak to. But at the end of the day, the right choice needs to be made. That's simple, bro. The right choice needs to be made.
Like, whatever the case may be, but ultimately the fans aren't making the decision. Like, do you get me? So it's like, you look at it and you're like, yeah, man. Like, one thing I will say though, I feel like with Sesko, you're looking at potentially more upside, obviously age, etc. I think with Gyökeres, I think you're looking at less backlash. So I think if Gyökeres doesn't go well, I think people will look at it and say, bruv, this guy has just been banging in goals. He's 27.
I can see why you got conned.
Yeah, I can see why you got if Sesko don't go well.
Oh my, yeah, man.
If Sesko don't go well,
it'll be dark. It'll be
if
dark.
Sesko don't go
It'll
well.
be dark.
Oh,
I don't want to fathom it, bro. I don't want to fathom it.
I think that's the thing. I think if you get a Gyökeres, even if it doesn't go well, I feel like people will say, you know what? We understood what you're trying to do here. Like, do you get me? We get it. Prime age, scored loads of goals. We're looking at it, and you try to go for the banker. Whereas if Sesko doesn't go well, they're gonna say Arteta.
Oh yeah, you know you have to just let your boy get jumped.
Arteta. You wanted a team of NBA players.
Oh,
you're trying to protect Havertz.
It's over, bro.
You don't want to have a big personality in the dressing room. You want a young player to control, because that's what the other narrative people are saying. They're saying he doesn't want a Gyökeres or Osimhen, that type of. He wants someone he can mold. They're gonna come. I think that's the thing. So I feel like if you got Gyökeres,
and bro, especially the fact that they've already started lining up as he wants Sesko and Berto wants Gyökeres.
Oh yeah, he went. They'll say he went against Berto as well.
It's over, bro. It's over, bro.
I feel like that's
it's done.
So I feel like there's more pressure on Sesko.
And also too, I'd also say, right, aside from even all the football and the fans and everyone, like I think rightfully so as well, man. I think if you build a team for 6 years and your final piece that you needed the striker and you get that striker wrong, then I think there's not a lot of room. There's not a lot of wiggle room at that point. Because you literally built the team, and now it's so clear that this is now the one position. Now you need to make the right choice in that one position for your system. Understand? Like ultimately, that's just the reality of it. So man, it's gonna be crazy.
Man. But yeah, we'll see what happens. And just very, very quickly, bro, like just a couple of minutes. Obviously, transfers with other teams, bro, they're happening.
Hey man, bro, this is gonna be an exciting summer.
Frimpong, Kirkes, Liverpool have came out with
they came out
they're
swinging.
not wasting no time. They said, we've got money to spend. We've just won the league. We're basically spending nothing. We've got money to spend. We're trying to stay on top. We secured Salah and Van Dijk's contracts.
My only hope, bro. My only hope is that you know how typically the team that wins the transfer window doesn't win the transfer window. That's the only hope right now. Because right now, looks like Liverpool are gonna win this hands down.
Man. And then obviously City as well. It looks like Rangers that's coming through. Ainori looks like he's joining from fullback. Shirky, who this one's going to be so interesting because he's an absolute baller and he's got so much potential.
Bro, is he a pep player? Is he a pep footballer?
This is what we're going to see because he's off the ball work. He's off the ball work. Yeah, like there's been a lot of criticism and like people are saying, you know what, he's a maverick, where it's like, oh, you know what, he just needs freedom to kind of do what he wants, etc. All will be seen, all will be revealed, but he's a quality player. Like, and for the fee,
wait, what's the fee looking like?
Crazy, bro. I think people are saying, bro, 25 mil. Like, you get me, like 30 million euros. Yeah, between 25 to 30 million pounds. People are saying, bro, like. The fee is crazy. Like,
wild.
The fee is absolutely crazy. So, like teams are moving, man. Teams are moving. And I was seeing Arsenal.
Even Chelsea linked to Maignan. I don't know what you think about that.
Yeah, keeper.
What's your take on him? Because I don't know what do you think about him?
I think
he's a good keeper.
I think he's a good keeper. Yeah. Definitely upgrade on Sanchez.
Oh yeah, 100% upgrade on Sanchez. I'm not sure.
I think they've got like what's his name? Is it Petrovic?
Yeah, Petrovic.
What's it? I forgot the team. He was on loan. French league begins with an S. Strasbourg. Yeah, I think he was on loan to Strasbourg, and apparently he's done very well. I don't watch.
Even at Chelsea, to be fair, he actually was. He's I think he's done better for Chelsea than Sanchez has. I think he just was the one that got shipped. So I think it'll be interesting. I think with Maignan is the injury record. Because again, he just strikes me. He's them players that I know he has an injury problem, and whenever I go to watch his team, I see he's injured. So when it's like I don't watch you enough, and even when I do watch you, you are injured. So maybe there is truth in that. So I don't know how bad it really is, but we'll be interested to see how available he is. But it's an interesting one, man. Teams are really moving. Really moving, man. And look, bro, our good North London rivals, they're still deciding, deliberating whether they're gonna sack Andrew or not.
Very quickly, I'll mention that because I was seeing links obviously with like Thomas Frank and stuff like that. Me, if you are a Spurs fan, I know it's very hard to imagine. What would you want?
You know what? It's tough. I think I would I would only sack Ange for Marco Silva. I wouldn't sack Ange for
Thomas
Frank.
Frank.
Thomas Frank. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't. I think ultimately, I think Frank is a good manager, but I think excitement wise, if you're telling me that we're gonna get rid of Ange after winning the Europa League to bring in Marcus Silva, I can see the upside. I can see the football. I can see what you can do with young players. I can see this. Okay, we can land on our feet. I think you sack him for Frank is more of a risk, and I think ultimately, if it's not Silva, then just give him the start of the season. Like I feel like it's one of them ones where it's like you just want to do the Europa League, give him a summer, see how he does, and then get rid of him next year if it's that. But I wouldn't sack him this summer for Thomas Frank. So yeah, that's my take. But I was a Spurs fan. So yeah, what do you think?
You know what it is with what my main problem with Ange would be. Of course, they finished 17th, and yeah, like absolutely horrible. What would annoy me, and I was happy that, and obviously I know United, Spurs were different clubs, but one thing I was happy with as regards to Amorim was like he knew that he had self-awareness where it was just like the Europa League doesn't fix this season. Like it's been a disgraceful league campaign. And I think if I was a Spurs fan, what would annoy me is when Ange is saying stuff like, oh yeah, like the season's been a success. If you said at the start of the season, get champs in the Europa League, then whatever. And then he's justifying them finishing 70. Was like, yeah, because I realized I had to prioritize the Europa League and then injuries and stuff like that. And yeah, bro, it's 22 losses, my brother.
Yeah,
like,
that's wild.
Like that would really annoy me. Like, don't get me wrong, I'll be extremely grateful for what you've done. Like, I wouldn't ever take that away from you, but I just would want you, I would want you to say, you know what, guys, we achieved what we've not been able to achieve in ages. We know this season hasn't been good enough. We're going to get things right, go again, and have a much better, something like that, bro. But when man's kind of like I have no problem you milking him. I have no problem you milking in the glory of the actual Europa League win, but the league position and kind of just brushing it as if oh yeah, man, well, yeah, it's been a great season. Like, do you get me? That would annoy me.
I wouldn't like that. Yeah, I wouldn't like that either. That would also really annoy me.
Yeah, that would annoy me. Like if Amorim ever came out and was like, we won the Europa League, and he's saying, oh, we've had a great season. Oh my, the United fans would be on him.
I'm rightfully so, man. But again, rightfully so. It's like it's a extrapolated version of when your team is horrible and the manager says we were the bad team today.
Bro, you know what?
We were the bad team today.
It's
like
kind of what Ten Hag was
extrapolated.
Doing. It's kind of like that type of thing. Like we don't really like that. And you know what it is? As regards to like better season, you let the fans do that. Like that's all the banter with the fans. Like, oh, we've had the best season. Let the fans do that. Do you get me? Like you as the manager.
Oh, did he talk on that on the better season thing?
No, I don't think he spoke about season. Yeah, I'm just talking about let the fans do all the. We had the best season. I would rather win the Europa League and finish 17th than finish second enough. Let the fans do all of that. Let them say, "Oh, we don't care about the league position." When bantering other rival fans, let them do that, whatever the case may be.
But it's like last year when they were playing City and the fans were, we want to lose. As the manager, I didn't blame him for coming up passionately like, no, like we can't try to lose this game because of Arsenal rivalry. We're trying to win. That's professionalism, as that you and your job. Like
handle your business kind of a thing. So it's just like, and I feel like that's what would, because I've seen quite a few Spurs fans where it's just like that's annoyed them, where it's just like, bro, like don't get me wrong, thank you for what you've done. Like honestly, thank you. No one can ever take this away from you. But bro, like come on, man, don't act like it's okay.
I think that's why ultimately, I think my issue with Frank, just to round that up, is that I feel like I think he probably makes them a stable. Spurs are maybe not like this year. Maybe Spurs are back to being a Conference League, Europa League, maybe Champions League team, but I just don't ever see them being anything more than that with Frank. With Silva, there's that little dark horse of like, because the football, and if you give him the right profiles, he could maybe over exceed the base expectation for Spurs.
Because you know what it is, I think you used a good word there. I was going to use a similar one. I was going to say Spurs need a manager that can overperform, that can get more. Like Poch was overperforming, like he was getting more like out of like the squad than he should have. Like, do you get me? And he was able to like develop players. And I think Spurs need that type of manager because like Spurs, like I think they're gonna, just because of like the incompetency of the board, ownership, and also they don't have the same pool. Like, and I'm not saying that in like a banter way, but they don't have the same pool where it's like they've got a reputation to fall back on when it comes to attracting certain players. So I was just like, remember when we were talking about like the Europa League final, I was saying if Spurs lost, I was like, I don't know where they go from there. Like, do you get me? Because even with them winning, it's still going to be difficult. Like, do you get me? For them to get, like, I think they were looking at someone like Eze. If they can get over the line, that'll be a great signing for them. I don't think they will. Like, do you get me? But if they could, like, that would be brilliant. Like, do you get me? We'll see what happens. But I think, yeah, like, I think Spurs needs like, and I hear what you're saying as regards to like that type of manager who they can get the young players, like, do you get me, develop them, get them performing. Like, I think you need that type of manager, because I just think because of the ownership and just also because of the competition for players, like, do you get me? Like, I think it's always gonna be difficult. Like, yeah, like it's gonna be hard for you to, like, do you get me? Like someone like an Embremo, that would have been a great signing for them. Like, do you get me?
Crazy signing, yeah.
But it's just like, I think, like you're gonna be finding it hard,
bro. So, even like Neto last year when he went to Chelsea,
that's
like a perfect hands type player,
like someone like an Eze, like just it's. I think, it's going to be interesting to see, because remember as well, bro, they're playing Champions League next season, fam. That's going to test that squad.
I know.
Like, it's going to test that squad.
I know.
Yeah.
So, I didn't actually know that. I haven't really seen much of these comments post the win, but I'm not surprised just based on what I've seen of him before then. But it's not encouraging for that. You know what it is? I think you just want you want your managers at least, if you at least acknowledge it, then I can have more confidence that next year it can be different if for like factors. But if you're just like, like it was, none of it was my fault and there was all these extenuating factors why we didn't do well, then it's like, you have to take a bit more accountability is what I say.
Bro, it's the same way where it's like, I remember when Ten Hag, when we lost 3-0 to Spurs, bro, and he's talking about I don't count that because Bruno got sent off and the red card got rescinded, bro. I'm fuming. I hate when managers do. That's the one thing Amorim. The one thing, again, I've said he's underperformed. The one thing where he has my respect is that he doesn't lie to me. Like, that's the one. Bro, I can't take it when managers, they just look me in the eye and lie, bro. Like, they just lie. He tells me, he knows, he's got self-awareness. He said, if we win this Europa League, it's not been a successful season. He said, this is the worst performing United Premier League side ever. The thing is with Amorim now, brother, is that these truths, but you've got to change.
It's true. Like these truths have to mention. They can't just continue being.
You can't just say. You can't just say we're horrible, and we're like, okay, at least you're telling the truth. And it's like, brother, you're here to change this.
So that is your job.
Even him, he's under pressure. Those first 10 games of next season, bro. Hey, the spotlight's on him, because if he's doing up bants, bro, he's gonna be out the door. Like, do you get me? So it's like, it's a massive season for him as well. Because whilst I can acknowledge, Ten Hag was gaslighting me, that annoys me. Amorim hasn't been gaslighting me. But also, bro, like, you can say all of these things.
But it happens though. Like, even look at Maresca. Maresca went from being the most loved like we love how straightforward he is. Eventually the fans were like, okay, stop saying how happy we should be that we're fourth. Like, let's also like
do something,
also relax, like
do something. Bro, that's why the one thing where it's like, because I think Amorim at the end of the Villa match, when he was giving the speech, he said, I told you, like, the storm was coming, etc. But now I'm here to tell you, like, do you get me? The good days are gonna be ahead, like something along those lines. I was like, they better be. I said, they better be, bro. 15th, they better be. Yeah. I said, that's what. And now all of your were horrible, like telling that blunt truth of whatever this, like that next season, bro. Yeah, don't get me wrong. You can still be. No one's expecting you to win the league. Like, do you get me? Like, you can, like, be honest, be thingy, but you need to improve us. Like, do you get me? This is because you've underperformed. Like, do you get me? There's no, again, I've said it, ownership, all of that, and that's why sometimes it's annoying when I'm speaking to certain United fans, because they're telling me about like the ownership and the glaze. I was just like, bro, fam, you need to go back and watch my streams, bro. Fam, how many times have I spoken? I've got my red and yellow scarf, bro. I know about the Glazers, bro. Bro, did I not? dedicate a whole 20 minutes to going into the Glazers.
I think it was longer than 20 minutes.
Bro, I know about don't tell me about the Glazers. It's always Glazer out. You're saying things that most passionate United fans we know, bro. It's Glazers out. I know what they've done to this club. I know, bro. Ineos, I know. Yes, he wanted to come at the end of the season. I know. All of these things I know. Do you get me? And the thing is that with Amorim, because of those things, we would have said, you know what? If we finish in this position, like, do you get me? It's understandable. Like, whatever. 15th, brother. 15th.
Yeah, 15th is wild.
With all of these things, it shouldn't have been 15th. And again, and I think that's my thing. Just everybody be honest. Like, I'm not saying if you wanted to stay, like, do you get me? If you wanted to stay, you wanted to go, everyone should be able to be honest and say he shouldn't have finished 15th. If you believe it's going to be better, I pray it is, and let's move forward. Like, do you get me? But let's not lie. Like, do you get me? That's one thing I hate. Like, just I'll call it out in my fan base. I'll call it out in other fan bases. But when people are just lying, like, do you get me? You see, sometimes when I see Arsenal fans and they're just like, what did you expect us to do over these 5 years when this. I say, bro, like, how long are you guys gonna do this? Like, do you get me? I was just like, bro, how long are you gonna do this? Like, I was just like, fam, it's like sometimes it's all right to be honest. Like, do you get me? And I feel like sometimes that's the funny thing as well, because with these managers, and this is the final thing I'll say, there's certain managers where it's like, with Wenger, I could understand it because of what man's done for so long. Like, do you get me? Fergie, for as great as he was, he's done some questionable things. Do you get me? Bro, Fergie done some questionable things. Like, there was some questionable sales, some questionable tactics at certain times, whatever. But, bro, your resume, your catalogue is way too long. Whereas, like, you've got super grace. Pep, we know, bro, in finals, man's out here, do you get me, against Chelsea?
Spicy decisions.
Man saying, I've got to, what was it, Gundogan in the six. Do you get me? He says, I'm going to play with, he's just doing weird things here and there. He's just, but you're like, you know what? Resume is long, understand it. You see, with a man like Amorim, bro, do you get me? As much as I want him to do well, bro, fam, like, you need to prove to us, like, you need to show us what we need to see in order for your support and your resume and trust to be backed. Because any United fan, and this is what I don't like, some United fans, do you get me? Like, they were saying they don't trust Amorim to go into the summer with all of this money and, like, facilitate the rebuild. And you can't look at them and say that's ludicrous, because it's not. Finish 15th. Like, do you get me? Like, that's my thing. Whatever fence you're sitting on, don't look at them and say, "Oh, it's not ludicrous to say you don't want Amorim to be the manager." That's not ludicrous. And I'm not saying that, but it's not ludicrous to say that. Like, do you get me? I don't think people understand.
No. I completely hear you. Like, I completely hear you. And again, it goes the other way too. Like, even like asking too.
Arteta,
if people say I don't believe in him.
It's
like,
not ludicrous to say. I think that's the thing, is the gaslighting. When it's like someone say, "Oh, we should get a new manager," a man is saying, why is it ludicrous? It's not ludicrous. Like, there's a lot of evidence to suggest that, oh, this might be the better option. If you want to keep him, you believe he's going to get over the line, that's also fair enough. Do you get me? That's the thing. That's my thing. Where it's just like, cool, like, just everybody be honest. Like, do you get me? There's too much.
Be balanced, be fair.
Get defensive. Having emotional connections with these managers, bro. Like, do you get me? I was just like, fam, just like, bro, do you know how long it took me to get an emotional connection? Fam, Fergie changed my life. Like, do you get me? Do you know what he done? Do you know what he done?
We're meant to see that.
Bro. We're meant to see that. Do you get me, bro? You know what this guy does, bro? That's the type of manager where you're like, hey, man, nah, man, I can forgive this, I can forgive that, I can forgive this, I can forgive that, bro. As much as even I love, like, Oli, club legend, bro, fam, it came to the point where it's just like, brother, you gotta go. Like, we still love you. We still love you. Come back to Old Trafford anytime, but you gotta go. Like, do you get me? What do you mean? Like, that's why it's sometimes funny. I see Arsenal fans, man. cussing out Henry, saying he's jealous of
Oh
Arteta.
yeah.
I said, you lot have gone crazy. I said,
Yeah, I
the
knew you were
world's
gonna say
gone mad.
yeah,
I
wow.
said, Henry. I said, this brother used to give my team nightmares, and this is the guy you're cussing out. I said, you lot have gone mad. You lot all need to go to Premier League years and do your history, bro. And the worst thing about it is that I watched the whole thing, and he never even said anything crazy, honestly speaking. Like, he didn't say get rid of Arteta. He didn't say, oh, we need to get a new manager. He just said, bro, in 5 years, we should have at least got to a final, won a cup. He said, that's a fair thing to say.
Yeah, it is.
Is it not?
It is.
Is it not? And everybody's crying. Is it not?
Oh, bro, this is also why again, my social media, Twitter, like that's why I just sometimes don't look because the opinions it takes me just for mental health, man. Because people craft the craziest arguments or opinions on things. They're just like
crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, mad. But hey, man, quickly just going through the comments. Unorthodox Chain said, I heard Hoyland after comment that guy stinks. Yeah, I think he's been very clear with that. Wendy said, I think the issue is the wages Levy refuses to pay, and I think that defo is an issue. Like, I think I saw a chart, and I think Son was the highest earner, and I think it's like it was either 200k or just under 200k. Like, do you get me? And it's just like, bro, yeah, I was just like, fam, yeah, man, for these top players, like if you're really trying to push your club forward, bro, it's like, yeah, man, that wage structure.
And bro, again, it's kind of it's the opposite of United, where it's like it's not even really the fees that are the issue for Spurs. I'm sure Spurs can afford to pay 60, 70 mil, but the issue is that those 80 mil players, and they might come and say we want at least 250, and Spurs are willing to do that. So then those players are no longer in your ballpark. So yeah, the wages is a massive issue for them, man.
Crazy, man. But hey, man, bro, that's the end of the stream.
Damn.
Obviously, hey, man, it's been a whole year. Obviously, his transfer. I for one, man, I needed this break from United as regards to us playing, man. Like, I just needed.
Same, man. I'm so happy.
In.
Bro, like, this is an exciting point in the season. Yeah, you can look to what could be.
Bro,
what can be.
Like,
I'm happy this season's over.
I was like, I can't wait even when it's the first game of the season again and everyone's on a blank slate.
Pre-season, I'm there, bro.
Pre-season, all of that. Do you get me? So yeah, man. Yeah. But yeah, obviously, once again, just want to thank everyone who's watched, whether it's been a minute, half an hour, an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, like who's been supporting all along the journey. We appreciate it, man. And yeah, man, stay up to date with everything we're doing. Follow us on the socials, and we got more content coming your way. But yeah, Ace, anything else to say?
Nah, exactly, to echo your words, man. Yeah, but everyone who has joined us throughout this whole season, if you joined us at the beginning, joined us midway through, this is your first stream. We appreciate everyone, man. And yeah, and also this is just I guess it's the start, so it's not like we're stopping. We're gonna continue. We'll just find out what the streams look like over the summer when there's no matches and what we do. But yeah, it's been a nice journey, and looking forward to just kicking on going into the next season as well, man. And yeah, there's gonna be a lot of interesting transfers. There's gonna be a lot of like teams that are gonna be changing how they're going to be playing. A lot of surprises. That's one thing too, bro. The Sesko, Gyökeres, I love all of this, bro. I wouldn't even mind come out with a third player from the back that no one knows, bro. That center mid that we didn't know we need. This wild card, bro. Like wild card, like. I need those signings to you this summer. So nah, man, it should be an interesting summer to see what everyone does. Like it's looking like is that year again where everyone has money to spend, and there's gonna be a lot of changes to teams. So a lot to talk about.
It's funny. Football's such a funny thing, man, because your team will just beat you up and then they'll reel you back in again, bro. I remember that Europa League final, I said this club, man, and then I see Kudya and Burma. I'm like, oh, I said,
it's a toxic relationship, man. It's so toxic, abusive.
I said, is that competency I see? I said, oh.
One more. I got one more season in me. One more season.
Because if these lot, I see just some dumb signings, bro, and I'm just like, bro. I'll say we're actually because you know you don't actually, again, we speak about that we're Manchester United working a big 2025, bro. But like the worst things go and if things continue to spiral downwards and downwards and downwards, bro, the juice it just thins and thins and thins.
It does, man. It does.
So it's like yeah, you've got to attack things whilst you're damaged, and that's what I was even hoping. I'm hoping the 15th is a wake up call to the whole club to say, bro, this is your institution. Manchester United are 15th in the Premier League. I've never seen this. I was chatting to my dad last week. I was chatting to my dad, and bro, he was talking about when United got relegated in 1974. I said, this is crazy.
I think you had. I think that's the only time. Yeah, that's the only time you've had more losses than this season.
Yeah, bro. He was talking about that, and I was just crazy. Like, raw. I've been spoiled. I said, bro.
Wait. Was that United team worse? Did you ask him? Was that United team worse than this one? The one that got relegated.
I didn't even ask him, you know.
Okay, yeah, I'm curious in the taking that.
Yeah. But yeah, I was just like, bro, that is crazy. I said, raw. So you've been alive to see every
transformation.
You literally, because when I was watching United, when I was born, bro, Fergie was already doing his thing. Like, do you get me? Like, man was there to see Fergie come and do the mad thing. I said, yeah, bro. So it probably made me realize, even when you see these Palace fans celebrating the FA Cup, whatever the case may be, it's just like, hey, man, bro. Hey, like even Villa and Newcastle, bro. It wasn't that long ago, a few years back, when they were in the Championship. So, hey, man,
even Newcastle, like we didn't actually even touch on how good a season Newcastle had in the end to pick up that trophy and finish in Europe again. Yeah, man. So I'm even happy when was going to United, because that was a scary proposition. If you actually
really
want to go to Newcastle, oh my god,
it's really good.
That's
really good.
Hey, man. So just big up them as well. Yeah, they had a great season this year.
Yeah, man. But yeah, no, it just makes you realize that, hey, man, you got to take your punishment. You know, do you get
me?
Like,
it be like that, bro. I remember I was reading something that I think it was like during Cruyff, like him as a player and him as a manager, that Barca won like 5, or was it? I think it was like 5 out of the 6 Champions Leagues they've ever won was in that period of time that he was there, was overlooking the club. I think I think he'd left, or he was still like as a part of the club. Like it was those like 20 years that Barca basically changed from being the unlucky team that would always lose to being like one of the biggest teams in the world. Like it's actually not been that long.
Barca won their first European Cup in '92. Like, so their success is relatively recent. Now, do you get me? When you're all of these teams go back to the 70s, 60s, do you get me? We won our first European Cup 68. Like, if you look at Madrid when they were winning like all of their European Cups and stuff like that, like, yeah, like Barca is like the 90s, bro. Like, that's relatively recent.
Crazy.
Like, do you get me? And then obviously, like their academy done an absolute mad thing. But hey, bro, any final words?
No, man. Another good stream as always. Thanks to everyone who's tuned in. If you've watched it, then please don't forget to leave a like. That is something that we're going to be much better at in the coming streams. Remembering to say that earlier. But yes, we appreciate all of you.
Yeah. And also, hey, man, this season, I just quickly forgot. Obviously, some of these teams are playing Club World Cup. Like,
yeah. What's your take on that? Because I've seen some people be like, nah, this is a violation. These players need to rest. I'm not going to watch it. This is just a money grab. And I've seen other people.
I think it's definitely got a lot to do with money. It is a lot of football. Like, it's a lot of football, because I think obviously even like a team like PSG, they've won the champs. Like, then players are going into national duty, and then within a few weeks is the Club World Cup now. And obviously it's now
a few weeks. Is next Friday. It starts.
Is it next Friday? Man, bro, crazy. Yeah, and it's a whole tournament, like whole group stages, etc. So it's like, and then you'll get into pre-season, and then the season starts again, and then you're going into a World Cup year. So yeah, and then if you are African player, AFCON is December this year into January, and then you go into it's a lot of football.
My
a lot of football. So yeah.
Well, are you tuned in though?
Yeah, I'll pre. I'll probably pre. Like, so interesting teams there. I want to see what happens. Like, you get me? So,
yeah.
But they said top prize money is like 100 mil as well. So whoever can win that, that's gonna help them a lot. Like, like if Chelsea grab something like that, bro, then don't be surprised if you see a mad wild card this window.
It's true. It's true.
Mad wild card.
They always have that in their locker.
Yeah, bro. Crazy. But yeah, man, hope everyone stays blessed. Have a good week. And until next time, Blessings. Peace.